I was throwing myself in the most difficult task I've ever had to embark on. I lost everything. I sacrificed everything. Even in the public, my reputation, I was criticized. Stones were thrown at me. I was written off. My phone was not being answered. People were blue ticking me. People were ghosting me. People that I thought were my friends. People turn on you. You're mobilizing the public mentally to start buying local brands. You know how big that is? You're getting people out of their comfort zone to stop buying their Dragon, to stop buying their whatever they're buying, to buy Mofaya. It's not easy, my bruh. It's not easy. It's difficult, bruh. Similar collaboration with us and Robot Boy.
Alright, that's where the slogan is coming from. Hello guys, welcome to Marcel Simon Show. And today's episode has been sponsored by Rebellious Clothing. So guys, I've realized that 98% of the people who have been watching our videos in the past 28 days have not yet subscribed. So I'm kindly asking you guys to subscribe. In doing that, you're making sure that we have more guests. Today I have a award-winning artist, a serial entrepreneur, a businessman, a father, and a brother to us all. Today I'm joined by someone, I call him Sifu. He's my teacher, I'm his protege. I'm joined by DJ Sifu.
Mr. Marcelo, how are you doing, sir?
No. Yes, I'm very honored and humbled to have you here today.
Thank you so much, guys, for inviting me, and congratulations for the platform. I've been following. I've watched some of your interviews, and I just wanted to congratulate you guys for having created a platform for dialogue and conversations. I think it's a beautiful thing. And then number two, I just wanted to appreciate you guys for always supporting Mofaya. The fact that you get your guests to experience the Mofaya drink, it's a benefit for us. And I just wanted to thank you guys as well for recognizing a local brand.
No, we really appreciate it. There's no need for that. One of the reasons why we decided to have Mofaya on the show is because we appreciate what you're doing. It's very inspiring to the youth. We had problems there and there with the department. I had to explain that this is my platform, although I'm shooting at the university. So we really appreciate, we learn a lot, and to see someone that we can relate to flourishing in this business, it's very, very inspiring.
No, thank you. I think what I can say to the department is that the department needs to understand that Mofaya comes from Wits University.
Really?
Yes, Mofaya is a brainchild of Wits University. I went next door, UJ. At the time, it was called Wits Tech, Technical Vet Waterstrand. My business partner, who graduated from here at Wits as a chemical engineer, Mr. Sipiwe Likuleni Shongwe, studied here at Wits all of his life, pretty much from first year up until he graduated. And as people would know, I'm a public figure, and people would know, as much as I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a co-founder of Mofaya with Sipiwe, my expertise lie more towards marketing, customer engagement, communications, branding, and just influencing, or as much as later on we spent many years building the business together and pulling in other people to come and assist us. He was the main brains behind starting Mofaya, and he's Wits University's brains. And Wits University needs to acknowledge that, and they need to understand, maybe they didn't know, that Mofaya comes from Wits. The years that Sipiwe spent from here inspired him to go become the mining mogul that he is. He builds mines. They're currently busy with the 11 billion rand mining project in the Northern Cape, hot as hell, working under the leadership of multiple times Business of the Year in Africa, Dr. Daphne Mashile Nkosi. She's our leader, she's our mentor, and she's also very familiar with Wits, with her late husband, Opera Stanley Nkosi, may so rest in peace. Wits is an iconic institution. Wits birthed a lot of South African leaders. Wits birthed a lot of world leaders. Vets birthed millionaires, billionaires, business leaders, politicians, community leaders. Vets has been a very big pillar of strength to this country. And as you're telling me that, you had to go back and forth with the institution, I just had to mention this. So Vets actually knows that this drink belongs to this institution. It comes from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, sir. I didn't know all that. But just before we delve into the success of DJ Spoo and the Mofaya, I just want to know from you, sir, at the age of 5, 6, as far as you can remember, growing up in Tembisa, what were your childhood dreams?
Hey, it was beautiful, man. The memories, they never go away. I was watching the videos of the 1st of September. Haratselana Kamit.
Yes.
And as much as you can get older, you can never forget those memories. You know, when you watch now on social media, banabatselana kamiti ra kokasi, babamba matisana, you know, brings back a lot of memories when we were young. When we were young, South Africa wasn't the way it looks like now. South Africa was different. You need to remember we that generation that sort of experienced 1994 when we were young. And you know, in my youth, running around Kokasi, and people used to talk about this Nelson Mandela that we didn't know, and just the struggle in the country. And we used to see the Hippo. I don't know if some of my peers, the Takataka out there, would know or remember the Hippo. Hippo would be those military trucks that used to drive around in the townships.
We had them during the protest here.
Oh yeah. I remember. Even during the Fees Must Fall many years ago, I was here actually. I was marching with the students. For some reason, it's not a good thing to see that car. It brings back a lot of sad memories because, you know, as a kid, now around that time, I was sort of exposed to the political violence that was happening in Kokasi. But also there was a beautiful side of growing up Kokasi. You know, takes a village to raise a child. Come on next door, bana le khoroma, o ile kopa tswikiri, you know, o ile kopa bupi ka Tupperware, you know, thomogolo ha tswa go di taxing a imelwa ra tshwere di plastic ra mathara ra mothusa ra mtswarisa simbambisa ama plastic umuntu omdala mangena esitimeleni noma ebhasini, you know, you stand up, you give them a chance to sit there. I remember itof zamalahle. The township at the time wasn't electrocuted the way it is now. Back in those days, there were only a few houses with electricity. But habo mamang ba chupile, habo mamang ba na le electricity. And then habo mamang ba na le generator, watching TV there. You know, dumelang le kae na re tlo kopa o shebella TV. A le so tlhape. Le ka ro shebella TV mara tshwantseng le tlhapetsa bang le lo tlhapa, you know. Those memories, man, make me smile. They humble me. They remind me of the neighborly Ubuntu that we had in the community, in the township. And when one was growing up, one didn't know that I'll become the DJ Spoo that I've become. I've just always had dreams of becoming successful in life and in just becoming somebody in society, right? It's not like from when I was young, I knew what I wanted to become. Not really, but I love music like any other kid out there. And so I used to sell Kospaza. I talk about it a lot on my books. And I guess that's how I got introduced to entrepreneurship, and just selling and trading and communicating with people started there. Yeah, that's the Spoo, man, before Bangposa. In the township language, you call it Khoposa. Before Bangposele boarding school.
Yes.
That's the life.
But growing up and about Romo Rorikshakos Paza shop and other kids, obviously Bozala ball, other kids can go out, and we're not like you are confounded in this tuck shop that you need to be responsible for. Did that affect you mentally? Were you understanding what they were doing? Were you understanding that maybe one day I just need to just accept this selling skill that they're instilling in me?
Bengicela ukubonga I just heard you talk about a selling skill. So I thought, let me just throw that in there. That's part of selling.
Yes.
And thank you guys for giving us that plug all the time. You know, the Mofaya office has become familiar with the Marcelo show, the Marcelo Simon show. So the guys have started watching it there at the office because they're always seeing Mofaya on the platform. It really means a lot to us. I wasn't even aware how these guys are teaching me to sell. I wasn't even aware that these guys are doing it intentionally. And when I talk about these guys, I'm talking about my folks, you know. I just used to be irritated or I get a chance, you know, just to be with other kids. But anyway, you know how it is, how you're treated in the house, you have to obey the rules. Obeying the rules, you have to also be creative. At least I've got my clients, but what's nice is that I can come up with ways to get these guys come here, my friends now, to come play with me instead. Convince my parents, let's have video games, Michin. Body Kung Fu Master, but what you get? 50 Cent. Round one, fight. I don't know if you remember, right?
I can tell you, but these guys, they don't play, but they're PlayStation. Can tell you, but 50 Cent,
you win.
You had that in the shop.
Yeah, bro. How do I know them like this? Body Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4, Body Pac-Man, Kung Fu Master, Shinobi. Hey, we used to love video games, bro. Like Sky Wolf. It was really nice. Because these guys, we used to compete. And then that was good because give me obviously you hire the video games. It's not like you own them. But then you also share a percentage with the people that bring the video game. So that's an extra form of revenue for my parents. And, you know, those are some of the ideas that one would come up with. Spaza saka nesilwe still clean, behlala kunenamba, behlala khali namba, bengithanda sound vele, ngikata music. Always music there. Not loud, but good music. So guys just really liked hanging around Spaza saka dladle. You know, so but at the same time I always had money because I'm selling. And I am a good salesperson. I'm learning this skill. I'm trading, and looking at it now as I'm older, I was an entrepreneur at the age of 12. I wasn't aware of it. Now in my mind, but I was actually an entrepreneur. And when you look at other people who trade, other people who build businesses, they involve their children in their businesses. You know, that's why when I deal with a lot of my clients, even in selling Mofaya, a lot of them, when you go to them, their 12-year-olds are there. Their 16-year-olds are there, you know? Like Lynn, now when I do activations on weekends, I'm with my daughter. She's there. She's selling with me. And it's sort of part of that passing on that culture. Because I wasn't aware. My daughter now is not aware that I'm actually training her. Although slightly she is aware, she might not be as aware as she will be in the future. But she's aware. She knows what is to save. She knows the difference between savings and investing. She knows she wants to become a businesswoman when she's older. She already is interested in podcasting. She sells. Every time when we do an activation, she sells no less than a case. One single case of Mofaya brings 24 of these.
Yes.
She doesn't sell less than 24 of these. Every time when we're doing no matter how short the activation can be, even if it's a minimum an hour, she will sell 24 minimum drinks. Why? Obviously, she's cute and she can talk and get my shy, you know?
She's better than me. I can't sell 24 within an hour.
I guess she's cute, she's a kid.
Yes.
So some people, I think, they also buy that. They buy the cuteness. But also, she's good though. She's good. She'll tell you why you must buy this one, or how this flavor differs from that other flavor. She'll give you her favorite flavor. She'll tell you the one that's selling the most, and she'll tell you that she's giving you a good deal. She's not going to make it expensive because it's you. She'll give it to you for this price. Imagine a kid that speaks like that at 10 years old. Reminds me of me. So that's how I grew up. I wasn't aware that they were training me, my parents.
You speak a lot of history in Small Street, in CBD. You having to go to China Sea, to China Mall to buy dyes and over Knoxman. Tell me about that experience, you having to leave Kotimbi in Small Street, because right now, when you talk to my generation about Small Street, or butja ka poho fela what's happening there. We don't know, or we don't have good memories about that area.
No, you're right, because generations are different, right?
Mm.
Just like how Hillbrow was during my era is different from how Hillbrow is now. Berea, that area. I've stayed in Yeovil, I've stayed in Hillbrow, I've stayed Kobo High Point, I've stayed Kobo Bostonian, Ponte City, the Sands. I've stayed in that area very well, and obviously how it looks like now, and young people who stay there, comparing it to now, it's different. Even Bram. Bram is more developed than it was. My time, Bram wasn't as is. Bram looks more beautiful than it did my time. Although your Hillbrows and your Yovils and your Perias looked or felt better then. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because I was young and it's because I stayed in it. I feel like then the city, or let me say just Johannesburg, even Bram, all the way to Yeovil, Bopanato, Hillbrow, Banato Kiskele, like Iskolo, next to Yeovil, not far from Lily Avenue. I mean, I know Joburg like at the back of my hand, and all the way down to Boma Marshalltown, or going all the way down to Boma Elof Street extension towards Tweefontein side. I would know Joburg. Obviously, the Marshalltown side coming this way to John Forster, Boma Newtown side, going to all the way that side, Boma Mayfair, Boma Oriental Plaza, or going that other way to Boma Chippies Town towards what they would call Maboneng now. Maboneng actually used to be a warehouse where I learned to sell. I joined a company called Worldwide Wholesalers Industries, WWI. They taught us a 5 steps to a sale system where basically they taught me how to sell. So during school holidays, they would give us products like either shaving machines or calculators or clothes or teddy bears, toys, would go out there and sell. They taught us a pitch. Good morning, how are you doing, sir? My name is Pusiso. I got some great products. I think this will be great for you. Take a look at this, they taught us how to close. One learned how to sell there. And 286 Fox Street, yeah. It was a huge warehouse. We used to go there in the morning. Where are you going? To the top. Where are you going? To the top. How are you going to get there? Choose attitude motivation. Choose attitude motivation. Choose attitude motivation. Riesh, 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 double Riesh, let's go. We used to motivate each other in the morning. I'm saying this because maybe some of your audiences, 1 or 2 people, might relate to what I'm saying, because of the type of company that I worked for. Little did I know that also was fueling me to become a better salesman, in terms of going there at 286 Folk Street and learning to sell and selling all these different products with WWI and teaching other people to sell. But as you come all the way down to Joburg, there's Bo Carlton Center, Bo Small Street, and there was just a certain culture there, When you go down Small Street, in my generation, anybody who is 30 years or older, they would know the empty cassette. 245 Randama, empty cassette. You guys wouldn't know because cassettes are no longer available now.
Yes.
But back in those days, they used to sell cassettes. And there used to be this guy who used to sell like cassettes in Small Street.
Empty.
He used to sing like that. And it's a familiar song to anyone who's lived in Joburg around that era, around that time. It was beautiful. Joburg was nice to come here. Crime wasn't as bad as it is now. But obviously, there still was crime. I also was a student. I used to walk around these streets. I used to party in Bramfontein. Some of the DJ. I started out in a DJ group called Deep Nation. Deep Nation was myself, a guy called Neo. We used to call him Neo John Bulk. He used to go here at Vets. Khanto, a friend of mine. All 3 of us, we used to play deep house music. Khanto was a hip hop DJ, but he wasn't just playing hip hop. We used to play on vinyl. We used to play like deep mushroom jazz type of hip hop. That's the type of hip hop that Khanto used to play. And then Neo used to play like deep house. He was a very good DJ. And talking about that era, it just reminds me of how the city looked like, of how the culture was. And that's why even till today, everybody who arrives in Joburg, they usually first arrive in Joburg in this area.
Yes,
Botjubet Park, Bo Bramfontein, Bo Yeovil, Bo Hillbrow, or just finding an apartment here, Bo Newtown. And then people grow from there. Either maybe at the time they're still studying, or they're still arriving, they're making friends, they're making ends meet in Johannesburg. And then people start moving on. Like I moved on to Boma Lyndhurst. I moved on to staying Boma North Riding, and then obviously then life gets better. You move to Boma Dainfern, Foys, etc. But I'm one of those people who was birthed by the city, who grew up in the city, who was birthed by the culture in the city. The music at the time was Kwaito music. Kwaito gave birth to what they would call Afropop, which I would say that era gave birth to what we'd call Amapiano right now. It was beautiful. The stars at the time was Bo Arthur Mafukate. He had a 999 record label. His studios and his offices were in Hillbrow. At a building called Strat Boogie. I know that because at some point I was a fan. I used to go there and see all these artists getting into those kumbis, and I used to have those dreams of wow, like I want to be an artist one day as well, you know. As a student, these are my day. This is my days as a student. So that's how Bram was. That's how Johannesburg was. Yeovil, Hillbrow. There was just that buzzing culture in Rocky Street in Yeovil. There used to be like pubs there. There used to be clubs. There used to be a club called Tandor, which was very well known. Reggae club. If you loved your raga music or reggae, or just if you love that type of culture, but Appleseed used to bang there. I remember there used to be Club 206, I think, yeah, Club 206 by Louis Botha. Club 206 back in those days also was a big part of the culture. When I say the culture, I'm talking about, you know, the youth culture, the music culture. House music was sort of new at the time. Club 206 was very big with house music. And then times went on, clubs, then there became more clubs around Johannesburg, your Rosebanks, your Sandton, Abu Calabash came, Abu Who's Who came, Abu Club Inc., Abu The Bank in Rosebank. It was a beautiful culture. I'm saying that so as to paint a scenario that sort of might trigger someone's mind who's watching and say, "Oh, I remember then. Oh, I remember that club. I remember the bank in Rosebank. Oh, I remember that era. It was a beautiful era, and at the time, you obviously don't know that the country will become in 2023 how it looks like. I wouldn't say the country is in a mess, but I would say that we could be doing better. I'm not happy, obviously, with the country. I'm like everybody else. When we get into politics, I'll obviously share my views. But when we say mess, somebody else can call it a mess. Yes. But because of the optimistic type of a minded person that I am, even when there's a mess, I still seem to find some positivity out of that mess, and I still seem to be optimistic about the future. It's just like with South Africa. I still have a very I believe a lot in our country, man. You know.
Such a good narrator.
I'm telling the old stories. I'm taking people there mentally.
You know, I've been traveling throughout all these places with you mentally. What time did you fell in radio? How did you get your first gig in radio, which was a community radio station in Tembisa, and later on you worked, or I don't know whether you were volunteering in campus radio in UJ.
Oh, hey, you followed it. I don't know where you got the story, whether you watched any of my interviews or you read the book.
Come on, I'm a DJ Smooth fan. So
thank you,
I know
bro.
everything.
I appreciate it.
I'm a DJ Smooth.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. I started out my career at Tembisa Info Radio. It's now called Voice of Tembisa. And simultaneously, I was doing shows on weekends. I'm doing my weekend show, Voice of Tembisa. Or during the week, UJ. At the time, it wasn't called UJ FM. It used to be called Channel T. That's why I started my career, campus radio. So campus radio and community radio, that's what I participated in from when I was young. The entertainment, the reg team, I was part of that. The committee, I always wanted to hang around with the SRC guys, but more on the entertainment side. I always wanted my views to be heard. I always wanted to contribute into which artists are we bringing to the school for the next reg farm event, or just in the entertainment side. I just wanted myself to be there, right? And being a part of the school's radio station helped me a lot to also be familiar with the musicians who were big at the time that we would invite, also as a form of creating relationships, like how you've invited me to your institution now. We used to do the same. Like, we'd invite them on campus, and this is how we'd make relations. Like, now we've got each other's details, you've got my number, and we've created a relationship. And I did that exactly, Lynn. Like, we'd invite them and I'd create a personal relationship with them, and they'd come on campus, come and perform, or come and DJ, some of the established DJs in those days. And I just like that lifestyle. I like being a leader in the entertainment side, and I also like using entertainment as a form of creating relations. Little did I know, at some point as my career grows, I'll end up being in entertainment, and I'll end up becoming one of the big guys in entertainment, and I'll eventually get into business with what I've always been when I was young, which is being that person who sells in a spaza shop. It's still the same thing. I'm still selling at my spaza shop, right? I'm still selling those sweets. I'm still selling maroto ale. I'm still selling those cold drinks. I'm still selling those loose straws, those tinkies, those chocolates, those hamburgs, those cherries, and those ice mints. I'm still selling them, and this is what they are. They're in the form of the books that I sell. They're in the form of the music that I sell. They're in the form of the products that I've built. They're in the form of the businesses that I've built. I'm in real estate now, helping people acquire land and buy shelter, buy houses. We're building homes. I'm in development. I'm a real estate developer right now. But for me, it's still the same thing. It's still my spaza shop in my mind. That's why I say the importance of inculcating our children from an early age in our businesses is amazing, because only then it clicks later. Wow, this is the smooth that I was when I was a kid. I was selling at my sponsor shop. I was good with those guys that used to come and hang around with me. Like the video game. It's still the same thing. Those are my clients now that I associate with on the level that I'm in. The meetings that I do, those are the guys that come and buy in my sponsor shop that I convince. Once. That Coke now is no longer just that Coke. Mofaya. Guys, come on, just buy 2 trucks, right? And that's basically what I was when I was young, but that's who I am when I'm older. But coming back to your question, because I know that my mind goes all over the show. My mind is very scattered, but I also like painting pictures with words. Get a kaboom for an audience of a podcast of this nature, because I also understand there's different people in different generations that are listening. It starts there. It starts at an early age. It starts from campus radio. It starts from participating on campus. It starts from creating those relationships, inviting these different people. That's how it starts. Even my own entrepreneurship journey from radio, you can say YFM, I grew. Okay, I know right now we're talking about community radio, but at a later stage, getting into talent search, and eventually getting a break, then growing, getting to Boma Ukozi, SABC, and Metro FM, I would say to you, at Metro FM, that's where one began to want to get into business even more because of the nature of the radio show that I had. I created a radio show that was around house music, vocal music on a weekend, but with a 1 hour slot called The Entrepreneur. Same thing. I would invite people I either look up to or people that are doing well in business to come and be my guests. And that was a form of exactly what you guys are doing. Getting the guests to come, getting them to share their stories. They're getting profiled. The audiences benefit, but I also benefit from my show. But also personally, I benefit because automatically I create a relationship with this guest. It's the same thing that's happening to you. All these guests that keep coming here, some of them now you can hit them up directly. You've got their numbers. Or even if you don't hit them up directly, they know you in person now because they've sat down with you. So now your black book is growing using this platform. That's what I used at Metro. Then I got more and more interested in business through that entrepreneur slot, where all these people that I used to invite, I started inviting them now on platforms where they can get thousands of audiences so they can speak to them. And they would like to, and they'd say, oh, I'd love to. Oh, you're doing a seminar. Oh, what is your company? Leadership 2020. Oh, a seminar. Oh, inspiring young people around my story. Oh, that's fine. What's the date? When is the date? I'll come through. And that's how I built also my network of other mentors who've mentored me in business. My journey is pretty much just like that. But even from community radio, I always was applying myself. I was present. I was always showing up. I was not about the money in the beginning. It was about the passion, and was about just getting 1 foot in and using that 1 foot in to show that I'm an asset. I can do this also. I can do this also. I'm actually also good in this. I can do that also. And being in that environment eventually puts you in a position where you end up being at the right place at the right time, just because you always show up. Showing up is just a big part of succeeding. A lot of people, they might have the right skills, they might have the talent, but they just don't show up, and they just don't take themselves seriously. You gotta show up, right? Imagine if any one of your team members didn't show up here today. It's fine. It's just another day they didn't show up. Oh, who was at work today? Oh, the guest was smooth. Okay, that's it. And you never know. Maybe I could have met that person now after this interview. Maybe I like him, or something happens. You never know. You just never know. You might just, it's not by luck that you're at what they would call the right place at the right time. It's just all about showing up. And showing up does not need you to be good at what you do. Those who, I always say to people, hard work will always beat talent when talent is not good enough. Because talent, most of the times, it relaxes because it comes easy. It's God-given. It's something you have. You know how to sing. You know how to play football. You know how to play that flute, that violin. You know how to dance for amapiano. And we always ask you, how man, how
You do it effortlessly.
You do it effortlessly, right? Because it comes from God. It's your talent. But to us, it's like, it's amazing. But people who have the talent sometimes need to also remember that you have to show up. You have to own the talent. You have to put in the work. You have to apply yourself. You have to better that skill that you have. You have to better even that God-given talent also not only needs to be nurtured, it needs to be sharpened. It needs to be made to become better. And how do you do that? Through personal development, right? So that's pretty much that pretty much was me from community radio. I had to better that skill of broadcasting. I had to broadcast, I had to read newspapers, I had to better my own English, I had to always have a dictionary, I had to have a thesaurus, and always just communicate, watch current affairs, know what's going on in the culture. And I wasn't like everybody else who was just interested only in music, who was just interested only in entertainment. No, I wanted more. I wanted to get into business. I wanted to build myself to become a television personality. I wanted a TV show. I wanted to build a radio show. More than a radio show, I wanted my own radio station. More than I always just want more. And not from a perspective of greed, but from a form of growth, right? Because if you don't grow, then you stagnate. And I'm always growing and I'm always following growth. And wherever I go, I always make sure that I humble myself to learn. What I'm learning from younger people, from me, whoever I'm learning from, it's about learning so I can become better, so I can become more. Because I believe that I've got a lot to offer this world. Even now, with everything that I've done, I still have got a lot to offer this world. So it's all about learning, bettering myself through my own personal development initiatives that I always partake in, and then pouring myself out to the world, whether through the ventures that I'm busy with now. I spoke about real estate. I obviously spoke about the beverages that we're doing. Massive Metro didn't do as well as we thought it would, was affected by the COVID-19 that came. But also, as you evolve with this thing, you need to understand that with the vision that you have and where you're going, things are going to happen. COVID-19s are going to happen. You're not now going to sit back and say, my dream didn't happen because of COVID-19. Evolve with the times. Or people are on the internet now, we're podcasting, right? So we move and we evolve and we adapt and move on. Because if you don't, you get left behind. So now I'm podcasting.
DJ Fresh ne? DJ Fresh I was watching. Yes. I know that he has contributed a lot in giving you an opportunity to showcase your gift. I had him on Wow a week saying, you got a sponsorship from audio, then a sponsorship from audio. 260.
Oh, audio.
Or we better fit the speed limit. Or ya koloi ya roll. Afecho roll. Go chwa mzegezeg. Mzegezeg. Why phumula. Afecho phumula sari kena Mofaya aricela ubonga. Or where that's where the slogan is coming from. I just love the fact that all these people who have been there from when DJ Spoo was still young until today, DJ Spoo is a father. They're still there in your circle. Just by us, it's a non-verbal message that is communicated to us. Just by us looking at this relationship, these people, we learn a lot. To see some people, they are seasonal friends, but those people that you just need to stick with them around. In saying that, what contribution did DJ Fresh contribute in your career?
Sure. Grootman Tato. Oh, man. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tato. Thank you. I speak on behalf of Proverb. We know him as Proverb. I speak on behalf of both Paul. I speak on behalf of both DJ Kent. I speak on behalf of both Dino Bravo. I speak on behalf of so many of us that you've helped put on through your God-given gifts and just through your great heart. You are a big man with a great heart, and I've experienced your great heart firsthand. And I just want to appreciate you on this platform. I always give you flowers when I see you, and thank you for being a bigger brother. Thank you for putting a lot of us on, and thank you for having the heart that you have. And I appreciate that. I appreciate people who use their position to uplift other people. He did the same for me, right? That's why I also had to do it for other people. Fresh did for me. Paul Mnisu, Paul Mvula, he's on 2000 now. You recognize me from when I was a nobody, and you used to invite me to your radio show at YFM because you saw something in me. So I'm proud of you. It's good to hear you back on radio on 2000 doing the afternoon show. But I also just wanted to give you your flowers, Mr. Paul Mnisu Mvula Nyabongo. Back in the days, he used to go by the name Rude Boy Paul at YFM. Kabzela, may so rest in peace. Legendary DJ that a lot of young people don't know of, who was a big part of the youth culture in the country. He's pretty much the reason why it's normal to speak like Tsotsital or TV and we create our own languages, etc. He was the first guy who came to mainstream when everyone was trying to twang and trying to speak English proper. Kabzela came and spoke Tsotsital, and for that, people embraced him and they loved him.
It was the first Mzegezeg.
Kabzela was not Mzegezeg. Kabzela was a DJ.
No, I mean in terms of the language, when you listen to how Mzegezeg speaks.
Oh yeah, Kabzela was hardcore ghetto. Hardcore ghetto, very funny, intelligent, smart dresser, stylish, very in touch with the township. And he started out driving taxis. So that's why he was a good DJ, because Narula Abuale his passengers. And some of the people who knew him from when he was a taxi driver would tell you he was funnier even when he was a taxi driver. So when he was put on radio and had a microphone, he was so funny that now he had all these hundreds of thousands and million plus listeners to entertain. He was an incredible man. He also played a role in my own career. So there's a lot of others. Greg Maloka, I always appreciate him. I give him his flowers. He recognized the talent. He gave me a chance to work at YFM. He gave me my first graveyard slot. The graveyard slot turned into me standing in for other DJs at YFM. I got in there through a talent search competition and I was runner-up. The guy that won that competition, he hosts a music show on Sunday nights. Shout out to my boy Natty Nice, 5FM. He's also part of the 5FM music team. He's also an incredible DJ. I've done some incredible works with him. Actually, we've made some hits together. Not hits, classics. I mean, me and Natty did classics. He goes by the name Observer. We did Everything Happens for a Reason, Walking in New York, Stronger Now, one of my singles that I put out a few years ago. I think I've done about 3 or 5 classics with Natty, and I always have to give him his flowers as well. Proud of you, Natty. He was the winner of that competition where I was the runner-up. That's how I got into YFM. And Greg Maloka recognized that talent in me. And it always takes other people to recognize something that you have. And DJ Fresh has always been that for the culture. He's always been there for a lot of us. So I always like giving him his flowers. So I wanted to thank him for that and appreciate the Grootman for having recognized something in me. And I became somebody in the industry, and as times went on, I did the same. My career is full of the same thing where I used it to uplift others. All the way up until today, I still do the same thing. Whether it was music, whether it was radio, whether it's business, whatever it is, I always try and pull others up. Now I'm podcasting. I'm doing the same in podcasting. I'm in real estate. I'm doing the same. I'm in beverages. I'm doing the same in using Mofaya to uplift others. Not only the ones that sell it in the street corners, see, that it helps put food on their table, but even those that I bring on to come and help me push this dream. I've been a part of uplifting their lives, and I benefit out of also them contributing in my own growth. That's what happens. It's iron sharpens iron. When you help me or when you teach me, somehow you're learning from teaching me. And that's what I appreciate DJ Fresh for having been to this industry. He taught us to be like that. He taught us to uplift others. And he also got it from just that culture that was there at YFM. It was just a culture of putting each other on.
Mm-hmm.
I know I scout grand. Go America.
Yeah.
So to one another give America. Sure.
I had Sibusi Sumlim on the show. When I was talking to him, was like,
Mr. Mulimi. Yeah, that's my guy.
He was like, man, I want you to buy me more fire. When I come, I will reinvest you. I was like, no, there's no need. We'll drink more fire on the show.
Sure.
And he told me which flavor he wanted. I got him the more fire. I did that on purpose today to buy one can. I was like, if DJs will just come empty-handed, he's going to be embarrassed. But I've never seen him go into a platform without a Mofaya can. It's impossible. So Sibusise came here. I spoke with him. He spoke so fondly of you, and you saw the clip. It's still there on your Instagram. When you saw him speaking so appreciative, when you look at the clip, you see how he speak. It's coming from the heart. Seeing him speaking like that, how did you feel?
It always feels great, you know. And Tas Buddha, I'm proud of you, bro. I'm really proud of you, my brother. Just your growth and everything you've achieved over the years. And seeing everyone else, man, there's a lot of them. Seeing the guys grow, even the guys that we've been doing great work together through Leadership 2020. Zarif, I'm proud of you too, bro. He works with the government now, you know, works with the ministers, doing his thing. Zarif has always been great in inviting me in this institution. He was a part of the Black Lawyers Society, and he was part of the leadership. He used to invite me at Verts. And even when Mofaya was born, we used to always have like lectures here at Verts. We used to always be invited to come give talks here. So that's why I get Mofaya Kemodlaji. And that's why I like the fact that there's somebody like you, you know, who makes sure that, you know, this drink is always around here. We have to make sure we also get it into all these tuck shops because it was actually birthed from here.
Yes. There's so
CPU
many
actually,
tuck shops in the
you know what I mean? Like they all should be selling more fire, and Vets needs to Barking, claim more fire officially as one of its projects because it comes from one of its students, it comes from one of its alumni, right?
I'll be speaking with the Vice Chancellor January if nothing changes.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah,
They need to understand that they've given birth to not only Mofaya, because you need to remember what Mofaya did. Mofaya ignited that entrepreneurship energy in the country. Mofaya made people believe that they too can. Mofaya made people to believe in themselves more, made people to believe they can start their own brands. It wasn't easy when we were starting, but it was harder for us so that it becomes easier for the guys who are doing it now. It's nice to see when guys are opening new stores, but drip, turn them. There's queues now. You can see there's an appetite of people wanting to support each other. We support each other. We support our own brands. We wear our own brands. Everything like we live this thing.
This
right?
is rebellious. That's the founder of the
that's the founder.
Yes.
I let him come to the cameras.
That's the founder of Rebellious. That's
doing,
the man.
Tell us about the brand. Tell them then, Cameron. What is it about?
So the brand
Come
is
closer,
about
sure.
okay.
Yeah.
So the brand is about standing out and not conforming to the social norms. So the story behind it is being rebellious is when you look the society in the face and say, I know who you want me to be, but I'm going to show you actually am I. So sharp, this story comes after my childhood experience. So exalimfana, nebalatongkaela for my skin color, Paromuntu, Black Jesus, Black Cat, those nicknames. So young killer my self-esteem, can you go by a yellow bone? Can you go to up until I accepted myself for it. This is me and I can't change it. I have to stay true to myself. That's how the brand came.
Proud of you, bro. I'm very humbled to meet you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Keep being rebellious in a positive way, bro.
Sure.
And that's what it's about, right? And we don't know just that little thing of him coming on camera, what's going to happen to this clip, who's going to see it, who's it going to land on, you never know, right? It's just a part of, we need to live putting each other on, being about each other, empowering each other, being about ourselves, being about our proudly local. And I guess that's the life one has learned to live over the years.
Like I said, I'm your protege. Say there's this. I don't know which language in China they call a master sifu something like that. So you are my master. You are my teacher. You are mentoring me and other so many young people unconsciously. So that's the way you live your life now. You are a minimalist right now. you appreciate a lot of local brands. If you see some of my pictures and my clips, it's either you see me wearing parts with this shoe or the slippers, always see me wearing the rebellious. I don't do that. I do it intentional. I just or maybe it's just me coming out of me. I learned it from you to say, if we don't appreciate our brothers who are doing well. Theo, he's doing so much. He's inspiring us. I'm inspired by Theo. If there's any young person who can say that is not inspired by Theo, Likau, yourself, and others, Tepo Jeans, Amakosa, David, there is David Klali, and so many others. They have stores in Sentin. Just me, when I walk in Sentin, there is Drip. When I walk at the corner, there's another shop, I think it's called Fry or something.
Yeah.
When you pass, there's David Klali, just opposite Al Capone. When you go that way, it's so many things. When you go up there, you see there is Theo, there is Bart. Just next to Bart, there is Exchange, where he sells his perfume. In Sentin, where it's considered to be a place of, you know, people who have money, and you see our people there, we can relate to say, I'm coming from the rural areas. If Theo is doing it, I can do it. So it's part of us appreciating them, to say we appreciate what you're doing, and we love, we're inspired. I was speaking with Stumum Child this other day. I was like, I'm glad that you guys in Josie Number you showed Amaxhosa in one of your scenes. That's a dope thing. I was so glad to see Amaxhosa in those scenes. I'm looking forward to when I am shooting a movie. I'm doing film and TV, just everything behind the scenes, script writing, editing, directing, cinematography. When I'm doing a film, I was like, I'm looking forward to see my film being sponsored by Mofaya. Instead of us drinking Western drinks, to drink Mofaya, because we got a Coke of Mofaya. We have Sprite, we have Stone of Mofaya. To see our South African films being funded by Batu, being funded by Drip, being funded by Rebellious. That's another thing that I'm willing to see it happening. So in saying that, DJ Spoo, I learn a lot from you. You are teaching us so many things. So what inspired you to let me just, for the lack of better vocab, to step down from DJ Spoo, who was on Friend Like This, the Sutu guy, the lavish lifestyle, and be a minimalist who always appreciate local brands?
Thank you very much, my brother, for the humbling words, and I appreciate them. I love the word that you mentioned in your speech. You said intention.
Yes.
Being intentional.
Yes, yes.
You have to be intentional. It's like with parenting. With parenting, you have to be intentional. What type of child do you like to produce in this house? What type of child, you know, would you like these children to become in the future? So us as the parents, we have to be intentional about our parenting as for the type of outcome based on this input that we're going to be putting all these years, or we are putting in now in these children or in this child. Intentional parenting. Being intentional about pushing our brands, about pushing local, about living that lifestyle, and being about it unapologetically, unashamedly so. Being intentional, right? It's being intentional. I'm being intentional about it. My house, they know. My children know. Everyone in my house knows. We rock local. We drink local. We rock local. We wear local. We wear local brands. We even have a rule, at least one item a day, you know? For those who like coming up with excuses to say, yeah, but every day, daddy, every day. I'm like, it's okay, you can wear your Adidas and your Nike, but at least, like, it must just be, because if it's not every day, you end up skipping gym once, right? You end up skipping it twice. The next thing you know, you haven't been to the gym for 3 months. The next thing you know, the last time you were at the gym was 2 years ago. The next thing you know, you're unhealthy now because you no longer go to the gym, right? So we have to be intentional. We can't skip gym. We're intentional. We're living this life. We have to go to the gym. We have to eat right. We're intentional about gym. We're intentional about our healthy living, our healthy lifestyle. It's the same thing. We're intentional about parenting this child this way. We're intentional about the type of outcomes we want in the next couple of decades. Through this education we are pouring into this child. We're intentional about this lifestyle that we're living. about birthing local, creating local, promoting local, being about local, being proudly local, then yes, you can give people a leeway because you can't be unrealistic. They call it that. They call it being, sometimes you become too unrealistic. You expect us to always be local, get a kaboom, because I know if I put that standard, I know they're gonna say that, but at least they'll have one item. Because if I become too barking less strict, my family will be like, yeah, my daddy won't mind. And then before you know it, nobody wears local anymore. They've forgotten. So I have to be intentional. I have to be reminding them. I have to be, even if I don't verbally remind them, when they see me, they must remember that, daddy and his local stuff, uncle and his local stuff. You know what I mean? Like, but this one is all about local. This one is all about local brands, right? So even when I'm wearing international brands, I'll wear maybe a brand that's affiliated with a black person overseas, right? Maybe I'll wear a Kanye brand, or I'll wear maybe working. Pharrell has come up with a collaboration with Louis Vuitton. Maybe if I were to wear Louis Vuitton, I'll probably wear one of Pharrell's collaborative products, right? Because I know Pharrell or a black family or a black individual, a black person somehow benefits out of it. That's better, right? But yes, people will say it's unrealistic. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that so as to not forget this thing, because this colonialist mindset that we've been indoctrinated with. How do you leave it though? Because you can't buy a local car yet. You can't get a lot of things local yet. We can't stop speaking this English language, right? There's a lot of things that we can't undo, but the ones that we can undo, let's undo them, because they're undoable. So let's undo them. And let's be intentional about undoing them. And yes, we understand we can't undo everything. Like now, are you saying we're not going to be eating fork and knife? But some of it also you need to remember, and I was asking Bishop Joshua Maponga this, like, do we throw the baby with the bathwater? What is it that is still good from colonialism that we keep? And what is it that we unlearn? What is it that we stop doing? And a beautiful another layer of that conversation came up and said, now remember also that the civilization that the Greeks claim to have come up with, it's civilization they stole from Egypt, they stole from Africa. A lot of the information comes from those books that they stole from the library of Alexandria, Abu Aristotle and Abu Pythagoras and them. Then that library was burned. But that mindset, that intelligence, that civilization, as the world attributes it to the Greeks, a lot of it comes from Africa. So how do we know that they stole some of our things, they redid them their own way, or tried to make them their own way or better in their own way, and then they sell them back to us? And then because we are trying to go through this process of unlearning a lot of things, what is it that we don't want from colonialism, or we're not unlearning? And what if some of the things that we want to unlearn are actually good for us because they were actually initially stolen from us? You know what I mean? So as much as we are unlearning this thing, that's why then knowledge is power. We need to go deeper down that rabbit hole of going to go search through to find self. Knowledge of self is the best knowledge you can ever acquire in this world, because it makes you free. It makes you understand that you are a God, a small letter G, right? Because it's giving you that permission. You are made in his image. You are a small letter G. You are a creator yourself. So stop looking for solutions and answers from the outside, because all of the answers are in here. You are your own God. You are a creator of your own universe, right? I always say to young people, it's not the world that you get into a transport and get into a flamachin and go see. The world is in here, right? So work in here. Work on this person. Work on this. It's all internal. It's all in here, right? So we have to be intentional about everything while we are acquiring and attaining knowledge. And that's the knowledge that I have been going through. And as I go through it, it manifests itself through the decisions that I take. So when I start letting my hair grow, or letting my beard grow, and I start deciding to wear more and more local, I start being less and less about materialistic things. Those are the decisions that are coming out of this knowledge that I've been attaining over the years. It's pretty much all of that, that knowledge, and people will see you and say, you are crazy because you're hugging trees. You're crazy because you're walking barefoot. And they forget that the people of song, abangoma, the people of Ntu, the original people of this continent. When you look at also the life expectancy, it has dropped. Our parents, our great parents lived very, very long lives because they were more in touch with that nature, right? We eat processed foods. We insulate our shoes. We're not working both barefooted. We don't connect to that grounded energy that comes from the earth. We are not being one with the earth. And that's what the people who are running the earth, the world want. They want to separate you from your knowledge of self. They want to separate you from nature. And nature is your teacher. You are nature. You are God because you are water. You are the 4 elements of life itself because God created heaven and earth. God created all of this. And all of this is you and you are it. And the knowledge that you're attaining, all of these distractions, tends to sort of separate us from the truth. And when it separates us from the truth, we're not living our best selves. You know, we're not being in touch with, for every human ailment, there is a plant for a solution, right? So we have to understand these plants. We have to understand these trees. Why is it that there are certain type of trees every time nangena kulama business wale ingamba? Is there anything about this tree? Why is that this tree I always see it in all these companies that I go into? What's significant about that tree? Akusiyi ingambla. Ingambla zithathe leyo knowledge kubokhokho bakho and they understand leyo knowledge. That's why njalo kuma business wazo zinale ihlahla lezi. Yini igama lalesihlahla? Oh, bathi lesihlahla lesi silethe inhlanhla. Siletha kanjani inhlanhla? Go ask your grandmother. She's got all of those solutions. But why is it that those teachings are with Ingamla? And then when you attribute that intelligence to Ingamla, wow, my business in so. Oh, wow, umhlonyane. Oh, wow. These things are just all organic. They come from the earth, from the ground. What these people do, they just take these plants as they are. They just boil these plants. And then the Western education brainwashes you against that which comes from the earth and it was just put in water and it was boiled. And for somebody who understands medicine, somebody who understands immunity, they'll tell you mix this one with that one. That's what it heals. No, don't put this much. Put this much dosage of that one. Take that one, grind it. After you grind it, take that other one, mix them together, shake them like this, put them in a container, put water, boil it. That's all they do. They don't put in chemicals. All these people that you call inyanga, most of them, they don't put in chemicals. These things are just trees and plants. They just chop them up and they shred them and they mix them together because they understand medicine because of that ancient knowledge. And they'll tell you this is what it will heal. That is what it will heal. And that person would be called a herbalist. But somebody else can say, no, this person is not a doctor. This person agana 7 years experience at Wits University. This person cannot be a pharmacist. This person is going to kill you. This person is not accredited to heal anyone. Do you understand, right? So because there is just always that destruction that happens. And there's just always this indoctrination that comes in. That's why we have to be intentional about everything to undo everything. And when I say everything, I don't mean everything, as I did say earlier. What do we undo? What do we not? What is originally ours? It was remixed and brought back to us, but it actually belongs to us. Do we also unlearn that? The gold, the ferrochrome, the coal, the aluminium, the platinum, the diamonds that come from us. They get dug out, they come out at next to nothing, and they come back as a form of jewelry, right? And you and I are bragging about that jewelry. It was dug out from your own land. Yes, some of you guys come from here in Mpumalanga. You leave diamond just right under your feet. You leave coal right under your feet. And you coming, all of you guys, to Johannesburg to search for opportunities, but you left platinum under your feet, Guinea. Eplazini lakababu wakho, lelo wena ungalifuni, ufuna indlu la eSandton, eWaterfall bazokufuna 3 million just for a piece of 2,000, not even 2,000 squares, 1,000 squares eWaterfall, 3 meter, 1,000 squares eStain City, 5 meter. Mara uyekela iplaza le 20 hectares legini. And futhi you don't know ukuthi ngaphansi kunama mineral phezulu. Urich mustano wena. Unalithelete ukhosi man. You're Mansa Musa, but you are coming here in Joburg asking, begging for a job. Come on. We have to do better. And are all of these people really zamazamas? Are they all really bad people? Yes, those who kill people are bad people. Yes, because they're not doing it legally. But what is a form of way that we can sort of come up with to make these guys legal? Because these are artisanal miners. These are actually miners. These are actually mining the land of Abukhokho nabomkhulu wabo. Actually, these guys are better than you and I. But what does indoctrination say? Say police each other, put laws, put all of these obstacles so that you police each other. These minerals are only for us. When we come into that country, we dig it out. We've got a formula. There's a way in how we're going to pay these guys minimum wage. You guys work for us. Anyone that doesn't want to work for us but want to go repeat the same thing, they are a zamazama. They are off the system. They are a bad person. It's not good to be a zamazama, right? That's another conversation to be had, which is the same thing when most of these brands, the whole world makes their brand through the 24-hour labor that the Asian communities apply. And we all know they're very good in churning out production like crazy. Go to China, they're always working. Different shifts, 24 hours, they're putting out production. And then they're going to tell you that other iPhone is fake. But it's actually the same thing. It was made by the same people. It's the same guy kata kulungisela le kareko ePM. Maruwana umbona manje ngeweekend kwakhe. Ulungisa imoto kwakhe. Hayi la ulungisa imoto la kwakhe la elokishini oSoweto ezola hayi la kungcolile egcwele ama oil extract. Mara uye lo muntu lo mande usebenza le kule ya BM. Wena just ujwayele ukuya songena lapha eBMW uzoyipaka. Iyolungiswa uye lo muntu, the same person le moto. Uye lo yana waselokishini.
Here you pay 1.5, there you pay 36,000.
Yes.
DJ Spook, I'm more interested. What time are you planning on leaving?
Let's go, my brother.
Okay. I'm more interested in South African entrepreneurship a bit. You know my Kip, still my colleague. He has a shop here in Bram. He has his shop that he just opened recently called Water. Sell his own clothes. He's a fashion guy. Love fashion. There's another shop just next to Stilo Makoli's shop. There's a shop called Swank. It's also South African. On the same street where Drama is, when you go up, you know Lebza, right?
Lebza Cafe.
Yeah,
Lebza's Cafe, the one who does coffee.
No. There's Lebza de Rule or something.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know.
Lebza is a friend of Meta Bongs. He was dressing Meta Bongs earlier on. There's a guy called Lebza.
No. Okay.
There he just opened a shop called Arts on Dim.
Nice.
Same quality that you buy from international brand. A hoodie like this, when you go in Sentin, I don't wanna give them free advertisement. You pay 60,000. There you pay something like 4K, 6K, same quality. A shirt like this you pay 12,000 or 8,000. When you go there you pay 1.5. Same quality, same thing. When and just to give Mera Bongs his flowers. I'm so glad and happy whenever I go there. I see Mera coming and buying from him because they're friends. They're coming a long way. So seeing him coming and spend thousands there, because if your people are not supporting you, who's going to support you?
Yeah.
You see. So looking at these young people who are doing extremely well, and you are one of the first pioneer to say, let's stand out, let's do our own thing. You had a problem earlier on as a musician, you to distributing music for upcoming artists, that includes Ntlata, Zahar, and others. You decided with your business part, TK, to open your own record label. You have pioneered so many things. So looking at what young people nowadays are doing, there's a young person also, he has his own shoe brand in Newtown called Via. There's another one on Instagram. So many.
That's Temba. Shout out to Temba.
Yes.
From Katlehong, yeah.
Looking at them, how do you feel? And what comes into mind whenever you go on social media or you walk around in town, you see all these achievements?
It's beautiful. Masolo, it's beautiful and it's humbling. It's incredible. It's always nice to be on the right side of history. I started out and I was an independent with TK. We built our own record label. We made history in South Africa as young people. And as one grew, TK is a right-hand man to the first citizen of Gauteng. He's doing really well in his political career. And shout out to TK, my brother. We made history together as young people. He's doing really well as a politician himself in his own right. And I opted for the business route. And I'm doing well in being a creative, a pioneer, and continuously play my own role in the culture. When I see all of these things happen, they remind me to why we started Leadership 2020 10 years ago. It's excuse me, it's exactly 10 years later now. We started it in 2013. Excuse me, that's when my daughter was born 3 weeks ago, 10 years ago. My daughter is as old as Mofaya. That's when Mofaya was starting. That's when Leadership 2020 was starting. That's when one was getting into business. That's when we were sort of mobilizing the young people that were following us, coming from the entertainment world, mobilizing them with that message of, man, come on. We can't keep on endorsing all of these brands, guys. Let's start our own things. And now when I started saying that, a lot of people rebelled against me. And, a lot of people didn't understand. And I also guess, it takes those types of people who go against the grain and be like, no, I'm not going to continue. I just done a successful campaign with J&B. And shout outs to, is it Brand House? I forgot the brand that I partnered with. They gave me a good significant amount of money. And we did go to the internet, maybe on YouTube, and search for J&B, the brand, the whiskey, J&B.
Yes.
Made what? Made Different. I think the campaign was called Made Different. Yeah. Go write J&B Made Different campaign. Or write DJ SBU, J&B. Yeah, DJ SBU and J&B Made Different campaign. Search for that on YouTube. You'll see the commercials. They'll come up. We just done that campaign. Had a meeting with them. Told them about my idea. Puffy, I think, had just been a few years in with C-Rock at the time. Gave them my ideas of wanting to collaborate with them long term, longer than that 12 months that we had for the J&B thing. The idea that I had with them was the ready to drink idea. It was basically a Mofaya idea, but alcoholic drink. They didn't see it. They didn't see that idea at the time. They just wanted me to just pose, shoot the commercial, shoot the billboards at the time, and just use me for that time and just for those 12 months. And I was like, but guys, we can do more. Guys, we can collaborate on our own drink. They didn't see it, and I had to go do it the hard way with a student from here at Wits, Usipiwe. That was the birth of Mofaya. Do I thank them for not seeing it? I don't know. Maybe if we had done it together, it would be even more bigger, because already they had the infrastructure. We had to go do it the hard way, to go start from scratch, create an infrastructure from scratch, go create and educate our own audiences from scratch, go be laughed at and be told what this thing is, I'm a sweet aid, what are we trying to do from scratch? Go invest all of our own money, our own blood, sweat, and tears into this. But little did we know that we're not doing it for ourselves. In the beginning, we just wanted to start a business for ourselves, but it quickly dawned that this is going to be bigger than us. And now I understand when I see everybody doing their thing. Because then you become one of those guys who are in the forefront of leading the culture that way. It's beautiful to see it. It's beautiful when I bump into the guys. It's beautiful when we have meetings. It's beautiful when we collaborate. We're collaborating even now. The 1st and the 2nd and the 3rd of December, I'm doing an event called the Pod. And by the way, we'd like to have you there if you guys are around.
We are around.
The Marcelo Simon show is needed there. Because when I have all sorts of different podcasts, it's a podcast festival.
We are coming. Rebellious. We are coming. We are coming. I'll be here in spring, so he will be around. We are coming.
That'll be dope. And just bring your branding. Maybe just like a pop-up banner or something for people to take pictures next to your banner. No, there's still time. Go do it. Don't say Aish. Go do it. Even just a cloth, you just branded the Marcelo Simon show, so people see the brand, because you need to know when you're exhibiting, you're selling yourself to the people. So let them see the brand, right?
We're supposed to do an interview with the current public protector. We'll try to sell this. Can we do it at Emperor's Palace?
That would be dope if you do it there.
We're supposed to do an interview also with Maluski Gao, just to say these people can shoot 2 episodes. I will try to.
That'll be nice, man. That'll be nice. Them, SABC is on board. We're working with SABC Plus. They have got a brand new, beautiful solution. All of their channels, they're now here. All of those TV shows, those different channels at SABC, all of them, they're now on an app. You just download. It's called SABC Plus. When you look at Showmax, or when you look at what Netflix is, that's what SABC Plus is. They are our partners. They are sponsors. Batu, they are sponsors. Collaborating with Drip. Drip is part of the podcast festival. So to see all these brands, to see all these guys flourishing, it's beautiful, bro. A lot of them, we used to bump into each other when we were building our business. I remember the Yoko guys. Shout out to Yoko, man. Just to see Yoko blow up to what it is.
He's part of Yoko.
Yes, he's one of the investors. But actually, the entrepreneurs who also started it, we used to go to the same seminars together. The guys at Thad, Abosile Bukhile, the hookup dinner. Movements that grew with Leadership 2020 side by side, collaborating, different initiatives together, doing things together. It's been great, man. I came recently and contributed to young people who started a real estate company called Ekasi Noble Property Development. I saw a vision. I saw what they had in mind. I believed in them. I collaborated with them. I'm their ambassador for the houses they build. We buy land. We rezone the land. We give people an opportunity to buy the land. We've got a brand new development coming here in North Riding. It's called Ngonyama Lifestyle Estate. We're building double stories, triple stories there, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms there, double, triple garages. Beautiful, beautiful land, prime land in North Riding Equestrian Estates. Partnered with these young people because I saw potential. And since we've been together, it's almost 2 years now. Just what we've achieved is nothing short of amazing to just see entrepreneurship culture grow in this country. But you see, government, they say it doesn't do jobs, but government enables the opportunity for small businesses to create the jobs. Then enable us, make it easy for us to operate in this country. Don't just see us from a distance and just give us lip service as if you're supporters, but you actually don't. You know, and I know that none of us, Tirena company, didn't get government support, but I would hope that others that are coming up now, all of you guys, get government support, because it's difficult without government support. Elon Musk, Tesla is Tesla because it got the government support from the US government, right? And China, Jack Ma is Jack Ma, Alibaba is Alibaba because of, you know, the CCP. CCP is a political party, but the government of China, right? They enabled for CCP to become as large as it is now. The companies like about Amazon and them. So government intervenes, and governments even helps entrepreneurs more, but which is not what we're seeing here in South Africa. But with that being said, let's not be too harsh on government, and also say, let's also seek for information for those initiatives that government is making available that are out there. There are opportunities in certain government institutions. Just people don't know about them. And some people don't go out or all out to go seek for that information. We did knock on those doors. We did submit all of the documents that we needed. We did submit at the time the pilot project that it was in the beginning. But sadly, the leadership of all those institutions that we had been to knock on those doors back then, we never got the help that we could have gotten. We're not bitter about it. We understand. Maybe if we knock now, things would be different. But at least we've grown. We'd rather have those government institutions helping younger entrepreneurs. But as I did say earlier, we have to be intentional about it. It feels great to see the entrepreneurship culture growing. People say black people don't support each other, but I refuse. Because then there wouldn't be a Trevor Noah or a DJ Spore Bonang. There wouldn't be a Theo Baloyi or a... I believe all of that music that I made, majority was bought by black people. I saw majority, if not only black people on my shows. Let me say mostly black, 99% black people on all of my shows that I've been to. I've seen 99% black people on all of my conferences and seminars that I've been to. Best-selling book, I've seen mostly black people come to me that, you know, my books changed their lives. It's black people who've been buying my books, black people who've been buying my CDs, listening to my radio shows, my TV shows. Even now, majority black people watch my podcast episodes. Black people buy Mofaya on a daily basis. So I'll be a hypocrite to come and stand on this platform and say black people don't support each other, because they're going to then turn around and be like, Sbuda, after so many years, nah, we've made you DJs all these years. We've made you DJ. You are who you are because of us. And then now you turn around and say black people don't support each other. Who supported you? Who makes sure that your daughter Warata goes to a good school? It's black people. So I'll be a hypocrite to say black people don't support each other. I'd say black people are so good in knowing quality that you can't take advantage of them. Give them quality, give them great service. They'll show you. I think the businesses that are thriving in our community right now, the black businesses that are thriving the most are the ones that tick these boxes. Customer service, consistency, quality products, consistency, evolving with the markets, being relevant in the marketplace, consistently marketing themselves, and also not taking people for granted. We tend to take our people for granted, and we turn around and say black people don't support. They support. They support. How many celebrities do we have? How many Amapiano artists do we have? How many millionaires do we have? How many, even without the famous ones, the ones that own Body Funeral Parlor, Kodikasi, the ones that own the shopping mall, who's supporting all those businesses, all the way to white-owned businesses? Who's supporting all of those businesses? It's black people. So I'll be a hypocrite to say black people don't support black people. Give them something good enough to support. Give them something that you think will work in that marketplace. Service them well, and make sure that you don't take them for granted. You service them continuously. At some point, they will show you. They will give you their money. And that's what I love about black people. Once they give you their money, like the clients that I have with Mofaya, I don't lose them. I just only gain clients every year. Every year, Mofaya just keeps growing. It just gains clients because that's what I love about black people. Once they love your brand, they'll end up calling any other brand Colgate. They'll, they'll end up calling any other brand Coke. Coke and Mofaya. But Mofaya is gonna be so big at such a point that that's gonna be turned around. Refer Mofaya Elaya Coke. They'll be saying that. Refer Mofaya Elaya Fanta. Because of that's how good we have to be. We have to be as good as Coke, so much so that we reverse that thing. But you can't reverse it because that's the loyalty that comes with our community. Black people are very, very supportive people. Once you do that, then you find your niche, you service them, they'll service you well. You can even see it with McG. The chillers are there for McG. It's not his haters that are making the podcast succeed. It's us. The chillers who love the platform, who pay every month for the platform, who are there every Monday and Thursday to make sure that we consume this content. We are mostly black people. So black people are very supportive. Don't fall into that trap or that notion of thinking black people are not supportive. Yes, in the beginning, even in any community, even if it wasn't black people, when you're starting something, people want to see first. But let's see this thing move first.
But I wish that you are right to say black people, they do support each other. I will also be ungrateful and so, let me just say this way, so foolish to say that black people don't support each other. They do support each other. And there's a race in South Africa that is excelling in that. Indians. I've been observing how Indians does businesses. If Indians say maybe in a school, they say there's an open day. They say you come with rebellious, you come with your quarter spas and set up and sell. They sell biryani or whatever. The family and the friends of that person who's selling bao chow or whatever biryani, they make sure that they come as a family. Bani chow. Yeah. They come as a family and sit and eat there. They make sure that they go to their people and buy. And I see that happening in black communities. And it's starting to happen more right now. And I wish it can happen more often. Like it becomes part of our lifestyle as much as the Indians does. You see, they just support each other effortlessly to say, okay, this is Litlokonol is my guy. Let me go and buy his stuff. Let me go and do this for him. I just wish this message can spread even around the rural areas where there is no internet, just to be educated about the power of supporting each other as black community. Because most of the time we come here and say the problems that we have, but we don't talk about the solution. We for the past 20 years, there is the problem in this black community, there's a problem in this. Now we want solution. We know the problems that we have. What is the solution around all these problems that we have? Sir, there's so much that we can speak about.
There's a lot, nah?
You're a goat. From Cozy to Metro, everything you've done in Metro, the awards you won, the risks that you took. There's so many friends like this. I used to love friends like this. I would just come and watch you there hosting friends like this. And I was hoping to maybe cruise one day. But it's so sad I can't cruise now. Friends like this is no longer there.
I always see those jokes on social media. They're like, how smooth. Bring back friends like these. Now we are old enough to go on
now
that trip.
We are 18. We can't cruise. We can't go to Mozambique cruising. We can't go to wherever cruising and that. But it was an incredible show.
I'm building my relationship now with the SABC. You never know.
Yeah.
We might come up with something better than friends like these, or you never know. Friends like these might just come back even much better. But I also see the importance of serving your country.
Yeah.
Right. So we just heard Trevor Noah made. Shout out to my brother Trevor. Congratulations to everything is achieved. Trevor's doing us a favor when he's charging us. How many dollars is that? 33 million is how much in dollars?
Maybe around 2 million.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot for Trevor. Somebody else, Trevor's caliber.
Yes.
Like it's the same as Coffee. Coffee now he's not in his international season. Watch him every year from around this time, November, December. Coffee's in South Africa. He does shows here. He doesn't have to. He's doing us a favor, but because he understands, because this is where he comes from. It's his country, but also he must be lenient with the pricing. It's the same thing I think with Trev, but I also think that's the responsibility that we have to serve our country. So people were asking me earlier on a few months ago, would you go back to the SABC? Or some of them were actually even saying, things are so bad for you that you need to go back to the SABC. You know, go back to the SABC. And then I laughed about it, but I did say that I've always said even when what is it, 8 years ago, 2015?
Yes,
I didn't leave the SABC over I was fired. I love the SABC. That I'll always go back to the SABC, Joe. It's like it's a public broadcast that belongs to my country. But it'll be a form of serving throughout all of the years of experience that one has. That's why I pour it all out on the internet. I pour it all out on the seminars. I pour it all out when I write these books. I pour out all of the knowledge and I try as much as I can to share. And I'm an open book. Everybody knows. Like I'm such an open book that I even share about my failures. I'm so open, but I feel that's what people should be doing with their experience, serving their country to give back. It does not have to be in a government institution or organization like the SABC. It could be just you. You used to be a great soccer player. You still have the skill, but now you're older. You no longer play. You're retired. You can contribute your skills to a local team, a Kaslako, you know? You're probably an elderly now. You're in your 70s. You're retired or in your 60s, but you were a scientist. You've got that skill. Why not just gather some kids around your community and just share that knowledge? Or just give an institution yourself and your time and lecture at no cost. But somebody can ask me and say, would you go work at the SABC at no cost? Of course not. But I'm not going to be ridiculous when it comes to the type of deals that one does with institutions that belong to the country and that are meant to empower the country. So I love South Africa. I love broadcasting, and I appreciated the interview that you had with the great Ntate Hlaudi. We didn't see what we had in him. I always say we had manna in heaven in a form of that policy that he wanted to. He didn't actually want to implement it. He had implemented it. We were so stupid and so misinformed that we didn't even protect him when the vultures came for him. That would have been great. Now we're supposed to be experiencing the positive spin-offs out of him implementing that policy, the 90% local quota policy. That would have been great for industry, for hospitality industry, for our entertainment industry. Imagine the catering companies, the production companies, the writers, the storytellers, the script writers, the actors, the musicians, the DJs, the dancers. It would have just been a big part of us blowing our own culture. Imagine how we are blowing up all over the world now with all these great people that come from South Africa doing well, even with the Amapiano genre. But imagine if Tate Hlaudi had gone ahead and implemented that and we didn't fight him. The spin-offs would be more positive than they are now. And all this world, as Amapiano is blowing up and everyone's eyes all over the world are on us, there's supposed to be actually more that we're putting out to the world. Because in South Africa, we put out 90% and we consume 90% of our own culture, our own creativity, our own filmmaking, our own stories, our own music, our own everything. Because you need to remember, that 90% quota wasn't only favoring musicians. It was favoring everybody, the entire industry. Everybody, bro. Like, we're supposed to be benefiting like crazy. And sometimes it takes people like that, like him, to be radical and make such decisions. Because trust me, it's not going to come easy. And nobody's going to come there and make it happen. Everybody's forever going to be afraid. Everybody's going to come on with... The thing is, people are so used to what they're used to, comfort zone. People are afraid of change. People have said, no, we didn't have... Imagine, like, this person wants to pass on a law that's going to benefit all of y'all. But all of y'all are saying, no, but we don't have enough of hours to keep going for 24 hours. That was the excuse. You know? What type of an excuse is that? You don't have enough South African music to play 24 hours? Come on. You don't have enough South African clothes to wear every day, Monday to Friday. You don't have enough South African filmmakers, script writers. You don't have enough. Come on, this is where it all comes from. There's more than enough. There's more than enough supply, more than enough talent. We're just convinced to hate ourselves, to even be so much afraid that we're afraid of people who want to take leadership and make such decisions happen. We're like, no. We're going to be like another Zimbabwe. No. Then they just use that fear to always scare you off, to not make certain decisions. No. This and that was going to happen. No. Like, what the hell? They're always using fear, right?
Seb, do you think that at times social media, when they're against someone, they just portray that bad image, and then the rest of us, we just go with the narrative of social media without making immense decision? Now, a lot of people, they're saying, you guys, you could be blowing up, it could be a big platform if you guys were focusing on the drama and the controversy of this guest. So many guests that we have, they have so many controversies, but always tell them, guys, we started this platform because we want to give them flowers. We want to learn from the positives. They have their controversy, but we don't care about them. We don't care about it. We don't learn anything. Let's focus on the positives. So do you think most of us, whenever social media is giving us a certain image, we just go with it without looking further into what is actually happening?
I could have easily created the Hustlers Corner would probably be on 2 million subscribers now.
Yes.
Or would probably be on 1 million subscribers now. But the Hustlers Corner is an educational, inspirational platform. That's what it is. It doesn't focus on people's gossip stories. It doesn't focus on negativity. It doesn't thrive on cloud chasing. It doesn't thrive on negativity. And that's what I knew, and I could see that the culture is cloud chasing on the internet to grow quickly, to get bigger engagements, bigger attention, to even trend, etc. Can do that. I can do that. I've worked on radio. I can easily do that, right? But that's not what that platform is about, and that's not the type of person I am. I'm a type of person, when they come to the platform, I just want them to inspire the audience, to give off of that energy. And I'd rather take another 5 years to get to 1 million subscribers. But I want to be this. This is me. And that's exactly what you guys are. You guys have chosen and said, this is who we are. We are about positivity. We are about profiling. We are about putting out positive energies to the universe. Even if it takes us longer to grow. I'm sure it's the same thing. You are aware that you can easily ask me 1 or 2, 3 questions that might potentially make this show trend, or might potentially make people out there to take that clip and make the show trend. And that can end up being a habit. You can do that with every episode. You can easily do that also. Yes. But you've chosen not to. You've chosen to be about certain values and stick to that and create a certain format and say, those who are for us will come and be for us for who we are and what we stand for. They don't have to come on board because they're coming in for clout. Let them be on other platforms if they want that. But here, this is who we are. This is what we are about, and this is who we are. Even if we can get 9 audiences, even if we can only get 40 views, that's fine. That's who we are. That's why we've just turned 4 with the Hustlers Corner. I'm impressed. Other people are saying, but DJ Sbu, this platform is supposed to be way bigger than this. Other people are saying, you've got the second biggest platform in the country after McG. You've got the top 3 or top 5 biggest people look at numbers. I don't look at numbers. I look at impact. I look at the impact we're making in society, the type of interviews we have, the type of education we get from those guests. I like the fact that I create a relationship with all of those guests that come from there. I got new bigger brothers now. I got new younger sisters now. Through all of those guests that come, I learn a lot. But also my audience of people who follow the podcast love the content. Lynn can do the same thing. And I can easily just, tweak 3 or 4 questions and make them controversial, such that the guest is either caught off guard or the guest answers in such a way of pleasing what the trending group or the trending crowd wants. I can easily do that. You can easily do that. But you have to be a person of integrity, because if you're not, you're going to fall for anything. Stand for something and say, this is who I am. This is our niche. This is what we are building. And whoever is with us, let them come with us. If they're bored by this, then they're not for us, and that's fine. But you're building a loyal follower. And I said that from when we were starting. We are strictly an educational platform. I'm passionate about inspiring people. I'm passionate about learning from guests. I'm passionate about learning and being inspired from guests and motivated. And that's a platform that I want as well, that is positive. Yeah, but when I suppose sometimes you're boring, you're just too clean with the guests. Why didn't you ask this person 1, 2, 3, and 4? It's fine. Go to where else or wait until they're elsewhere where they can get asked that. But that's not me. That's not what we're about here. So I like that. So you have to be very stern and be very firm in who you are and what you're trying to build. Because if you don't, you're gonna go with that crowd that you're talking about. One day they're saying this because you know how they are. Tomorrow they'll be saying something else. The very same people tomorrow will be saying that. So don't listen to the noise. Yes, listen to the ones that are credible, so as to build, inspire, but can take guidance from them or some sort of motivation or encouragement or advice. But ultimately, you guys as the team make the decisions. Decide this is who we are. This is what we stand for. Nothing else. And then stick to that. Unless if you want to change it and say, this thing is taking too long to grow. What is you know what I mean? Like then you start asking those types of questions. Then again, you become like everybody else now. Now you're just trying to cloud chase, but it'll also limit the type of guests that you get because the guests then can see the energy in your platform. And then some of them are going to be afraid to come because that's not the type of energy they like to associate with.
I was with Taliwonga this other day. So I'm like, man, I'm this person, I have this platform. I was like, hey man, I'm afraid of podcasts. I was like, no, we focus on this and that. I was like, man, Ash, I'm very hesitant. So many people, when you tell them podcast, they think you go through that route that everyone else is going through, even if you try to. But it's okay. As you said, we are very intentional in who we invite him. We look at what we are going to learn. What is the long term benefit that we are going to benefit after having him in the show? It's not just shooting an episode and then after that they just put vying and then it's done. We are very, very, very intentional. So there's so many things that happen in your life which I'm not interested in. It's none of my business, your own thing. But I'm interested in this one. I think 2014, 2015, DJ Spoo was at his peak. He had one of the most biggest shows in the country, broadcasting nationwide. In his suit, doing his thing, and he just decided to throw away his career. Took a risk that I think he knew that this, I might lose my job, I might lose the endorsement, I might lose friends like this, I might lose Metro FM, I might lose the weekly gigs that I have. Maybe we're getting about 3 to 4 or 5 depending on how busy the weekend was for you to go and DJ. And he decided to throw away all that because of this, that you believe that one day it will be one of the biggest companies in the country. When you did that, and few days later, this is a business platform. You don't just sell your product without consulting us. But you're arguing, saying others were coming there and bragging about the international brand. Look what I'm wearing is made in what. This has been inspired by what. But when you came as a South African and say, guys, let's build more of local brands. Guys, let's drink more of local stuff. You were fired. When you were fired, say, what was going through in your life, losing everything, starts coming and hit you up with a very huge
thank you for the question. Maybe the first thing I'd like to say, guys, pay SARS. Get your tax orders, your tax affairs in order, right? That's the message that I would like to share with young entrepreneurs. That's a message I would like to have shared more of over the past years. And I'm at fault with a lot of my tax affairs in the past. And I don't want you to go through the same route. Make sure if you're gonna get into self-employment or entrepreneurship, make sure you get a good lawyer and a good accountant from the beginning, from when things are started. Even when you're going to be an entertainer or a sports star or a footballer or an athlete, make sure that you get your financial affairs in order by getting these two things. Even if you're going to be an artist or a DJ, even a dancer, anyone, you guys need these two people. Get a legal person and a money person to advise you. Please get yourself an accountant and a lawyer from the beginning of your career. You don't want to think everything is in order up to only to find at a later stage that certain things were not so much in order in the manner in which you thought they were, because you're not trained, to be a money person. You're not trained to be a legal person. So let me just throw that in there. Let me start with that one first. Through the mistakes that one has had, and through the success that one has had in the music industry, I learned that I wanted to do things better. I learned that I did not want Mofaya I wanted Mofaya to be a better business than the business that I had before then, which was TS Records. I wanted Leadership 2020 to be a better business than TS Records. I wanted Mofaya to be a better business than Leadership 2020. Now, obviously, being in real estate and all these things that I'm getting into, I want them to even be better than Mofaya, because as you grow, you learn more, you know better, and when you know better, you do better. At the time, for me, I was working for the platform. I was working for Metro FM. I was part of the SABC. I was hosting Friends Like These. Before I was let go from both Friends Like These and my Metro FM radio show, I went up to an awards show, as you're saying, Metro FM Awards, and I obviously promoted Mofaya for the first time. Trended, got me suspended. 2 weeks later, got me fired. Got a lot of people talking. Some were on my side, some were criticizing me. A lot of things were learned out of that, but it was a beginning experience of, I would say, a beautiful future. One that would lead one to be forever in the history books in this country. I don't know, in the history books in this country, it'll just be a part of culture that one would have contributed in this country. I don't know whether they look at the music side of my contribution, they look at the business side, or whatever it might be. I just know that what we did will forever be remembered, even if it's not on the history books. But the future of South Africa, we contributed in this entrepreneurship direction as it's taking shape, the direction at which it's going through those decisions that were made then. So that sacrifice wasn't just for my career alone. It was bigger than just also our company. As we were saying earlier on, how many people this Mofaya project ended up going on to inspire. And now when you look at musicians, comparing them to 10 years ago, it's different. As much as they still take bags of endorsements, how many of them own their own brands? Right? And how many of them did then? None of us. None of us did. It was probably one or two. Limoting, it was maybe just a clothing brand or just t-shirts. It was merch. It wasn't really like solid companies. It was merch. And solid companies that were built by us, not just endorsing. Right? This we had to go and build. And I like the fact that it inspired this culture now where musicians, artists, and entertainers, just young people as a whole, it's cool to be an entrepreneur. It's cool to own your own thing. It's cool to build your own thing, but it's not as easy as it may seem or as it's portrayed out there. It's a lot of work. It's a consistent job of solving problems on a daily basis. That's basically what entrepreneurship is. But it's a beautiful thing to see what's going on in the country. It's a beautiful thing, even in the entertainment industry, that one made or took that decision then. I don't know if I didn't take that decision, what I would be doing now. I know that I'm a bright guy. I'd probably still be doing well. If I didn't stop my music career, same thing. I'd probably would be my brother Coffee, my brother Zakes. I'd probably be winning Grammy Awards. If I didn't stop my music career to go build this, I would have been a probably global DJ now, global musician. But I decided to go build a business. I decided to go become a business person and go learn what comes with it. Little did I know I was throwing myself in the most difficult task I've ever had to embark on. I lost everything. I sacrificed everything. Even in the public, my reputation was criticized. Stones were thrown at me. I was written off. My phone was not being answered. People were blue ticking me. People were ghosting me. People that I thought were my friends. People turn on you, because you're this cool guy who's always in these sports cars, who's always buying these champagnes, and who's DJ Smooth, and who's primetime TV, primetime radio, top 10 music, and all of a sudden, you go sell in the streets. it's like Smooth alien, man. But, it's like I'm your friend now. I must go pick you up there, go breathe. This weekend, this guy. And now about lifestyle, about group, about style. So maybe such friends, right? Because I just became this guy who, just decided to unplug out of the matrix, like from nowhere. But I guess, I always say to people, I'm blessed to become a blessing. So, I followed my name, and the decisions that I've taken, I don't regret any of that. Other people say, would you have done it differently? As I did say, if Ntate Hlaudi would have done, or wanted to approach that decision of implementing that policy differently, he wouldn't have implemented it, because exactly what happened would have happened. We would have said no. We would have fought against it. Or capital, or all of those people who benefit on how things are right now, or how things have always been, those forces, would have applied power such that those decisions don't get taken. So sometimes we have to be radical. Sometimes decisions just have to be made in a certain way that doesn't make everybody else smile. And that's how we introduce Mofaya into the marketplace. Other people are like, it was the wrong way to introduce it like that, but what is the right way? Right? How do I get to appear on SABC? How much is it to be advertising my brand on a 30-second slot during Generations? Can I afford that as a small Black-owned business? How many times do we see adverts when we are watching our favorite Skim Sam, Uzalo, Generations, or any of those TV shows that we like so much? How much money do you have to get into that level of competing with all these multinational companies who are pouring out so much millions in advertising? How are we going to compete as Black-owned businesses to be on that level? Because we don't have those budgets. We don't have those budgets. So one can say one can say one can say, you, Sbu, as a business owner, if one of your employees does such, what would you do? Right? So maybe but I might not know, what was on his mind, when they were making that decision. But now that I'm older, I look at those visuals and some of the things that we did then, jumping into a plane, screaming more fire, selling more fire in the streets, getting fired, jumping into award shows, and just all of the different things that we did them because of the climate of entrepreneurship in the country and just being desperately not having any money, no marketing budget. But it was just a way of getting ourselves out there. So a lot of the decisions were taken to get ourselves out there. I mean, I remember at some point we were almost sued by Kaiser Chiefs because I went to FNB and I knew there was going to be a derby. And a friend of mine, Tsepo Masilela, with some of his other friends, I knew that they were coming into the FNB much earlier. So I drove there in my Porsche, got there, full of Mofaya. Porsche, let's say Mofaya, boss. I made sure everyone got Mofaya t-shirts. Kaiser Chiefs players. And I made sure we all take pictures, make sure give a Kaya Mofaya there. And needless to say, Tsepo was my friend. And Tsepo had always give him some drinks. And it seemed was like, Mfana, Yazin, Zongala once like FNB was on drop off because I was supposed to drop off some stuff for him. It was actually for him. But he ended up bringing the other guys. Not say food and Mfana, And the picture ended up trending. And Kaiser Chiefs was very pissed off with Mofaya. And we got a letter from ENS, one of the legal firms in the country. And we're disciplined. And I look back now, older, I laugh about it. I remember at some point, one of the DSTV Delicious events, I was with Sis Jessica Mdawu. Love and respect to my sister, and happy belated birthday to our father and Tate Keza Mdawu. Thank you for the inspiration, sir. We appreciate your contributions to the country. And we were laughing about it. And old Jessica was telling me, you don't play with a brand like Kaiser Chiefs. And the conversation was around brands. It's like, now imagine Sbu. Now we're obviously laughing about it years later. You built Mofaya to be Mofaya and people just come and play around with it, right? You have to be very strict. So when I look back now, I'm like, we pissed off the SABC. We pissed off Kaiser Chiefs. We pissed off a lot of people. You pissed off a lot of people, right? So I guess it was the approach and the manner in which a lot of things were done. Sometimes when you are young, there needs to be some brash or some form of radicalism at some point to get things done. Unfortunately, because of the system that we have. That's why when you look at more young people when they're young, or even revolutionary leaders, when they're young, you get to see how they behave and how they are, and as they mature and as they get older, they become the great Ntate Mandela. But when he was young, he was very radical. He was brash in his approach also. He wasn't only just an intelligent lawyer who was, a professional with decorum, but he was also very radical in his speech. He was young, right? And that's the energy that we also oozed. We were oozing young, youthful, creative, hungry energy. And we did things the way we did them. So I can't say I regret it or I don't. But I don't regret anything that has happened in my life, because it has brought me to be sitting here in front of you and be talking about everything that has happened. I guess even the spiritual journey that we were talking about earlier on, I was intentional about that I'm going to go through that journey, and it's manifesting itself through the decisions that I'm making in living my life differently from how I've lived my life before. And a lot of people out there might not agree with it. Same way, marketing Mofaya the way one has over the years, a lot of people didn't agree with it. A lot of professionals were, even my friends who were lawyers, who were brand specialists, who were business people themselves, even just a lot of my friends who were professionals, and just a lot of people just stopped taking my calls. A lot of people were criticizing me in a manner in which I was doing my thing in promoting this brand. Even just having the can everywhere I go. It was just like, and then it's about this can everywhere he goes, and that's how I built our billion dollar business, because that's what it's going to become. And that's, the systems and processes that we've been putting in place, building it to get to that level. That's why we had to go get all the professionals, people who've built businesses of that magnitude to come and assist us to build this baby, because we don't have the experience. We've never done it before. So let them come and help us build this baby. Let them come on board. We just are the entrepreneurs with the vision, but let the right people, the right professionals, people who are trained to do this. Your ex-Coca-Colas, your ex-Red Bull guys, all these people with the right expertise, distribution expertise, packaging expertise, flavors, all these different things that we do in our company, even in the manufacturing side, etc. Let them come and just grow this baby. And that's been our struggle over the years. That's what we've been able to do. Right? And it makes me happy that it has turned out the way it's turned out. But just from starting it that way. And that way, Narunkadi chance, people thought we had like millions and millions and millions of amount of money. We knew what we're doing. We don't know what we're doing. We're taking chances. We're just very arrogant about it. I don't even say arrogant, but a lot of people say we're arrogant. The way in which we were communicating it. And people were saying we're very radical. People were saying we're very brash. We're very loud. People were saying we're very messy and reckless. It's that youthful energy. Somehow it worked out for us, and I wouldn't advise anybody else out there to, to do it the same way we did it. We're very radical and we're very aggressive. Our approach, it worked for us. Might not work for you, and we're also in a business that is cutthroat. It's in the street. It's dealing with the masses, and it's a low cost products, $10. It's a red race. You're fighting with other products that are just coming in slightly cheaper. And people are not buying the brand because it's black owned. People who actually make the business make money is not the end consumer. The end consumer might want Mofaya, but that spaza shop that they're buying from makes the decision for them. Because they'll tell them, no, we don't have Mofaya. We've got Switch, we've got Dragon, Play, Red Bull, and Monster. And then, okay, cool, let me take this one, right? So they decide on behalf of but even them, they might want, the spaza shop owner might want Mofaya, but have I lost stock at that cash and carry? They decide also for those spaza shop owners that buy from them. They might say, no. We are buying whatever, bargaining, so it's a matter of, and that's what Mofaya has been over there, is because of the lack of distribution, penetration. Especially in the first 5 years. Now things are becoming better. It's penetrating and it's growing. We really, really are growing, signing up a lot of clients. It was very difficult in the beginning. But people who decide for the clients are these big players. But if you mobilize the public long enough like we have, non-stop with the same messaging over and over, at some point, that pressure will be felt by that spaza shop owner. Next time, habailo reka. Because of this people that keep on, what about Mofaya? Why are you Mofaya? Mofaya and then like can lose a chelete. So why are so many people asking about Mofaya? So now I lost stock next time. Kwa education carrying or wherever they stock. Hey man, guys, don't you have Mofaya? Labor it's the same thing, hey man. A lot of our clients of these pasta shop owners are always asking about this Mofaya. Okay, let's start selling Mofaya now. Now this guy also who, you know, so it trickles down. So, but it's how we have managed to mobilize the public, which is a difficult thing to do. People are good at that is political parties. People who mobilize the public, not just for one Saturday event. No, you're mobilizing the public mentally to start buying local brands. You know how big that is. You're getting people out of their comfort zone to stop buying their Dragon, to stop buying their whatever they're buying, to buy Mofaya. It's not easy, my bruh. It's not easy. It's difficult, bruh. You're dealing with change of mindset. You're dealing with that guy who sells in the corner and says, yeah, Mofaya, when I sell it, I only make 2 rand. When I sell Dragon, I make 3 rand. Mofaya, when I sell it, I only make 2 rand or I only make 4 rand. With Dragon, I make 6 rand. You know, so they look at things like that. So yes, we love SBU. But politics of the stomach, bruh. We make more money by selling this one. So what do you do when you're building a business like that? So those are some of the little things that, you know, business people face in this space. And as you grow, also there's something called growing pains. Growing pains, it's like when your muscles start growing.
Yes.
Some people even end up having body stretch marks. You know, it's growing pains, right? Or just growing out of your comfort zone, just those growing pains. Growth, there's just pains that you go through. So even as a company grows, it's got its own pains that it goes through. We're going through our own pains, our own challenges, but they say as you succeed, the challenges also become bigger. But it's a beautiful thing because you've got good problems to deal with. It's no longer those old problems when you're starting. You can see the growth. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can see that what you've sacrificed for, you've made the right decisions, but you're also dealing with problems of that magnitude as well, which I think is a great thing. So it was a great decision to go out on stage and promote this thing that day. Changed my life forever.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yes, sir.
So I did my high school in Benoni, in Whiteville, where was Tembuka is from. Growing up there, I used to shop a lot in a supermarket called Kit Kat. Even right now, and I'm here, when I go to, because I go to church there in Whiteville, when I go there on Sundays, I buy stuff there and come back. I believe it's much affordable. So I would live here and go and buy more fires there in bulk. I'll spend something like 400, 500 and just buy them and keep them so that whenever we're shooting, we can have them. But last time when I went there were more fires, but I didn't have the flavors that I wanted. It's just that the first flavor that I found it there. So I was like, guys, what's happening? This shelf used to be full with more fire and all the flavors were here. They're saying DJ Spoo, since he signed a contract with ShopRite, is no longer supplying us the way he used to. And I was so disturbed to hear that.
Yeah.
What's happening, sir?
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
We can never treat any of our clients any less. There is a specific issue with that particular client. I don't know if you're talking about Jamaica Cash and Carry or you're talking about the Boxburg guys.
No. In Benoni.
Or Benoni. So you're not talking about you don't remember the name of the store. Or the Cash and Carry. Kit Kat Cash and Carry.
Yes, Kit Kat Cash and
Carry. No,
Kit
Kat Cash and Carry is supply. Supply Silverton, we supply Cliptown. Okay, they've just closed this one that used to be in Crown Mines, that big one, that new one that they just opened. Pretoria, we supply also. The one next to Marabastad, we supply. Benoni, we used to supply. I mean,
there's a big Kit Kat there, Cash and Carry in Benoni.
Yeah, I know the one in Benoni.
Yes.
But I'm saying we used to supply. So for me, this is new. This is news. But it can never be because of how we are treating other clients or because of opening newer or bigger clients that you treat your smaller clients less serious. No, you can't, because those are your repeat sales. Those are the guys that keep the business standing. Those are the guys that believed in you from the beginning before any other person believed in you. Those are the people that pay your bills. So if there's a complaint or maybe they're not getting stock, there has to be something, but I'm gonna call the office after this interview and get them to check on their relationship with the Benoni Kit Kat Cash and Carry, because I do know that we still have a good relationship with the leadership in Pretoria, even with their other branches, the Silverton branch, as I did say, the main branch there in Marabastad, the Kleptown one, also Kit Kat, and I thought we still had a good relationship with them. I thought we were still supplying them. It's my first time hearing, but I'll bring it up with the office. But which is a beautiful thing. Small business owners, you'll go through the same thing as you grow. You'll go through growing pains. When your company starts corporatizing or reaching its next level of growth, the challenges are different from the initial challenges that you used to experience. You're still going to experience challenges, but as we were saying earlier, those challenges are now bigger. But that should be the goal, for this thing to grow, such that it even experiences those types of challenges, because this thing is becoming way bigger than you now. It's way bigger than me. This thing is like, sometimes the other day when I was with my daughter and Sipio, and he was there with his daughter also, just watching Miss SA, and we sponsors for Miss SA for the next 3 years. We're just emotional, me and him. We're just thinking about just all of the difficult days that we've had to go through, just all the tough times that businesses taught us, and we're just watching on stage how beautiful it looks from the outside. And Sipio was just saying to me, doesn't the stage remind you of the Metro FM Awards stage when you introduced this thing 10 years ago and were fired? And look at this thing now. It's a proud sponsor of Miss SA. All little girls in South Africa aspire to Miss SA. They watch Miss SA. Imagine our brand is now connected to that girl child empowerment. And we're there with our daughters. Imagine when your daughter goes back, and your daughter says, not I was watching Miss SA, not this contestant was my favorite. I was in the front row at Miss SA.
Giving her a drink.
You know what I mean? Like, and we were sponsoring Miss SA. Imagine as a black child, 10-year-old, to say that, saying that to other kids at school, and that's what we want. We want young people to grow up understanding that they are good enough. They are represented. They are for this. This is for them. It's not for some people who are meant to be better. No, they deserve this better than anybody else. They do. They are of world standards, and they belong in that front row. They are Miss SAs themselves, as they are, young as they are. And it's a beautiful thing when my daughter rides with me in the car and she sees billboards of the drip shoe, and she's like, Daddy, there's your drip shoe. Daddy, when am I getting my drip pair? Right? Like, my pair, pair. And she's seeing that on billboards. Becomes normal.
From Kilari Mall, you pass Sentin, you pass going to Metro, and this drip billboards from there going down there. I become so inspired whenever I see those billboards on the left, on the right, drip everywhere. So it's one of the things that I had in mind to ask you about the Miss SA thing. I was so glad to see Mofaya being on that big initiative. What inspired you, sir, to say we want to have a relationship with them? I had a very interesting conversation on a Zoom meeting with the former Miss SA Ndabinukere. I love what they do, and she told me all the plans that she has for young people, for education, and seeing Mofaya being part of that. I was so inspired.
Mofaya is affiliated with that black child struggle. Mofaya is affiliated with that guy who sells it at a street corner. Mofaya is affiliated with you just buying that Mofaya can at a street corner, even if you don't want that can, but you know where your 10 rand is going to go a long way towards supporting this hustler at the street corner. Mofaya is associated with that robustness, with that, let me give you a kick. It's a hustler's drink. And it's always been, as we were saying earlier, robust, aggressive, loud in its approach, brash. But as Mofaya is growing and as Mofaya is corporatizing, Mofaya has never had that sense of also being soft, man, being soft to the girl consumer. And you would see that manifests in its different flavors that we've released. But Tropicasi, the yellow one, bo Cherry Boom, the pink one, Grand Dealer, the purple one, so you start seeing the ones that are more targeted towards the female audience. And then now you're starting to see the relationship that we just started with Miss SA And we've just released last week, by the way. It's the first announcement that I'm making. We've just released Berry Queen. Berry Queen is a new flavor by Miss SA.
The white one.
Yes, it's
Yes.
white and purple.
Yes.
Congratulations to my sister, Natasha Joubert. And congratulations also to Brioni for Miss Universe. She's one of the finalists. But Natasha is our current Miss SA. She's incredible. She's dynamic. She's young. She's got a bright future. Awesome presenter. She's beautiful, smart brains. And she represents our brand really well. And I'm just very proud that we are associated with Miss SA, and just the work they've been doing over the years. They've been known for being an institution that empowers the girl child. It's a conversation in every household in this country when Miss SA happens, especially females in the house. If you've got sisters, you would know when Miss SA is happening. Everybody has got their pick, everybody has got their favorite, and then everybody roots for whoever. It's just been a big culture of the South African fabric, Miss SA over the years. For us to be associated with this, you're starting to see this brand grow. You're starting to see this brand starting to slowly, softly introduce itself to that audience now. That girl child. It's not about hustling. Hey, 10 rand. Hey, Mofaya. Hey, our ownership. Hey, Mofaya. Hey. You're starting to see even that become in a form of evolving from SBU to a robot boy. Clean brand. No smoking, doesn't drink, very focused, multi-talented, church boy, amazing drummer, talented comedian, writer. Now he's got popcorn and cheese, his podcast, beautiful, amazing dancer on stage, clean brand, robot boy, a younger version of SBU. Oh, okay, so now they're starting to appeal to that younger audience through Amapiano, because robot boy is an Amapiano artist as much as he's a rapper as well. So you're seeing that evolution where earlier on we used to be told, how are you going to get to a place where you're separating yourself from this brand, SBU? But now you're starting to see that evolution happen in front of your eyes, even though without you see it. It's like how this can evolved in people's eyes without them seeing it. The first can wasn't like this.
Yes.
But the evolution as it happened in front of their eyes. But it's not easy for you to say, I don't remember this can changing. I just remember Mofaya just always being there. But you guys started with this can. Oh, it went to this one and this one. Wow, this is your 7th version. You didn't see. It's like when F&B rebranded or Standard Bank rebrands or any corporate company rebrands. It's also the growth. So you're starting to see that happen with us. You're starting to see that Miss SA relationship take this brand and make it sexy, make it appealing to women, make it look good. If you're at Miss SA or if you watch Miss SA, you can you are seeing an example of what's about to come. Because you remember everything we've done over the past 10 years, we've done with no money, bro. Now imagine when you take such people who are able to do so many marketing initiatives, getting the country growing, grow a brand in the streets with no marketing budget. Now imagine when such people start getting the budget, right? They understand the value of every cent, but they also understand that this is the grassroots brand that appeals to the people that was built with nothing. But now as these little cents start coming in, they understand the value of where every cent has to go to. But also as the brand grows now, because now the brand, people used to always just think, Mofaya, hustle. DJ SBU. Go koning. Go strating. Kasi. But now you are slowly starting to see these things. Your robot boys through his new flavor. Where is that more? Do you have robot boys flavor? Please, let's show the people there. This one is called the Flavortron. Yeah, this one's called the Flavortron. That's Robot Boy's brand new flavor. Collaboration. And that's what I say. I mean, I love also Casper's collaboration with Lekau on Drip. I loved Somizi's collaboration with Theo on Part 2. Similar collaboration with us and Robot Boy. So you're starting to see a trend where these local Black-owned South African companies are starting to go through growing pains, but now they're starting to evolve nicely now, where they're becoming a even more strengthened and a bigger part of the South African fabric by empowering other stars, because it can't just always be about Lekau, it can't just always be about Theo, it can't just always be about SBU. The brand has to show that it can grow and have its own life without Theo. The brand can grow and have its own life without Tsepo. It can be just a jean brand that is called Tsepo. Even if Tsepo sadly passes on, he's built something that's going to last for generations. It's the same thing we're doing. We're starting to see the brand now exist outside of Usubuda Buda, which is something we do internally as a team, but it's something we do quietly nangaba unaganga. But nangabu nagili yakhona ukubona ose basipona no Robot Boy manje ose ba release flavor ka Miss SA ose bazanga nama flavor nyana o epink o latest kanjani o bazanga nama flavor. So it's just all about growing the streams, growing the product offerings, the SKUs, and also just appealing to a newer audience, to a younger audience, to a much more sophisticated demographic. And it's happening nicely. I'm starting to see, it's always nice also to see a lot of white people, Indian people buy Mofaya. I also see their posts online. And even when I do my researches at these stores and go to garaging and they tell me of how many non-black people buy Mofaya, it's always beautiful to hear, wow, this brand is now having a life of its own, that people are buying it for being a brand. There's people who are no longer, who don't even know DJ Spoo, but they're just buying a nice energy drink. And that was the goal in the beginning, to build something that can stand on its own. So my message to entrepreneurs also is, let's build things that can do that. Let's build products and businesses or grow brands that are able to build and have a life of their own. Because the bad things that we've had in the past is ntate mang mang ha tlhokahala butchery yawa, di garage di yawa, di business tsa gagwe kaofela di yawa, and itoro zakhe lezi bekazi owner noma nama taxi bekawa owner ayawa. Why? Because abantwana bakhe are not interested in the business bana bagagwe. They've got their own dreams. They want to become whatever they want to become. But also, while he was alive, this great business person didn't think so far as to think like ntate Dr. Motlana, may so rest in peace, who mentored his young, amazing son to be an incredible businessman. Sadly, he left us through COVID-19 lockdowns. During the COVID-19, we lost a brother by the name of Wandi Motlana, one of the best young business people this country has ever had. Dr. Motlana had a plan, a succession plan, when he was, training his kids. The late, great Dr. Richard Maponya, may so rest in peace, he had a great plan when he inculcated his children into his business. When you look at the Mutaungs, I was speaking about Kaiser Chiefs just now, all of the kids are involved in the business. So you can see there's a succession plan there. And we should be learning from these people that there must always be a succession plan to not only just empower outsiders, but even within the family, let us all understand that this is our baby, such that even when the pioneer or the leader passes on, he's done a great job in the succession plan and the strategies and the processes such that this thing exists in their absence. And that's what we call generational wealth.
Yeah. So there was a point where I read online, was you, DJ Fresh, Chibo Touch, Men I Love So Much, Robert Marawa, and others. I saw the picture. You guys were working on something massive, and for whatever reason, it never happened. Now, Chibo Touch on the Hustlers Con is speaking bravely. Is like, when you are not operating on 15%, you operate on 75%. SABC can call you back to go and save the country. So he's claiming that he's operating on 75%. That's why they called him back to save the country and on a public platform. Is there a possibility, say, to all of you to reunite and continue with the plan, or just now you're on podcasting? DJ Fresh now, he has his own podcast. It's just to go into be like that.
That was a great opportunity. People called it Fired FM. It would be far by now. By the way, we had a very big telecommunications platform that was on board to own 40% of the business that we're putting together, of call it Fired FM for lack of a better word. And then we had another big company in the country, I won't mention their name, who also is affiliated with this big telecommunications company, who are going to own, so they were going to own 40%. These guys collectively, they're going to own 60%. So these guys are going to own 40, the other ones are going to own 20. They were going to finance this business. And then us, we were going to own, it was a 59-49 deal. Yeah. And then we were going to own the rest with the guys. And then we were going to own, I think, 10% each. and we're leaving the other 10% idling for a female contribution, or whoever it was going to be was going to come and join us. We're putting together a zero rated portal that was going to have all of our platforms mixing radio and TV and multimedia together, and with these guys pumping in money, and we're going to own half of the business, and they were going to own half of it, and they were going to finance it. And we had already done the deal. It was just about to be signed, and then some things happened. Other offers came from the side, and I think some players became privy to some of the information that we're busy with and the type of deal we're putting together. So with business, and when you're dealing with such personalities, there's always people that are dangling carrots and big checks on the side. And it happened that there was an opportunity, I think, for Robert to join Arena, and big up to my brother, is doing really a great job with that opportunity. And there's Tibo Touch with the SABC, Freshers podcasting with What a Week. I'm doing the Hustlers Corner. So last minute it could have happened, but it didn't happen. But I like the spirit that we had with the other guys, and putting our heads together. We wanted to build something that was going to be incredible. Sadly, it didn't happen. Mina ngumuntu omoya. So when something doesn't happen, sometimes you don't force it. You understand, Wuti, it's either wasn't the right time, or unkulunkulu want bigger along the line. Either bigger for any of us as individuals or us as a collective, or unkulunkulu want that opportunity to still happen differently at a later stage, maybe in a bigger way. I don't know. But we were all open to it. We were all committed towards it. We were all excited about it. There was a great deal on the table. There were 2 big corporate companies that were a part of it. The telcos were interested. Studios were already being shopped around. It was going to be a beautiful, beautiful, big company. It's just that I can't divulge more, although I'm tempted to want to divulge more. But I think I've divulged a little bit more than what has been divulged over the past year, and explaining actually what happened to what people were calling the Fired FM. But we would be far by now with that business. But it is what it is. At the time, Hustlers Corner was still new. I think at the time, Hustlers Corner was still even less than 100,000 subscribers. Now we are approaching 300,000. We keep growing. I see Fresh is also approaching 100,000 subscribers with his podcast. Robert is doing really well with his syndicated radio and / internet TV show. Touch is also doing really well at Metro. So we've all grown in our own individual right. And it didn't happen at the time, but there is still friendship. There's still love. There's still eagerness and willingness to want to work together. Might not be on a broadcasting platform, maybe for now, but those are my brothers. Those guys, I love them. I grew up with them in this industry, and it was a great opportunity to want to work with them at the time. Although it didn't happen, we're all doing well in our own right. None of us is down and out or stranded or kisono kaena. We're all doing our own things, and I always believe when we come together, we do a better job. But it doesn't mean that when we are all by ourselves, we're great being by. Touch called it even our group on WhatsApp, that's what it was called. It was the Avengers of Radio.
Yes.
Or Radio Avengers. I think that's what Touch called us. We're the Radio Avengers, right? So big homies coming together, they do well on their own, they're big brands on their own, but once they come together, something exciting happens. And we all saw the energy from the country. People were ready for it. People were excited. Which shows you when we come together what happens. But it doesn't mean that there was beef. It doesn't mean that there was any fights. It doesn't mean that anything went wrong. It just means that it could have happened, and it didn't happen. And I wish I could share more, but yeah, no beef, no negativity. And even with the companies that we're going to work with, we still have an open relationship with them. But it just, life happens. Thank you, bro.
Sir, I love you so much. I was so glad a few months ago.
Joke it too. We pushed, eh?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I once saw Nota do a 5-hour podcast. So at least we've done what, 2.5, ne?
Yes, something. Yes,
I've always said one day I'd like to do a 5-hour podcast. At least it's not bad. We did
I see Drink Champ, they do 4 hours.
So they're rocking 4 hours sometimes, ne?
Yes. So just briefly, 2 months ago, I saw you trending online because you have this massive deal that so far you haven't spoken about it. You and Puff have a collaboration. What is the collaboration about?
REVOLT Podcast Network is Mr. Sean Combs is basically growing into the continent.
Yeah.
You know, put together his businesses, then he's formed something called, I think, Combs International. Combs International Inc. or something along those lines, where his focus for the rest of his career is to focus on the continent. It's been a very big part of the hip hop culture. Didi, I mean, we all know. He owns, one of his businesses is REVOLT, and REVOLT has got a podcast network which is new. That's where Drink Champs is on.
Yes.
Joe Budden podcast was also there. Very big platform. We did our first recordings just now a month ago. I was in Atlanta at the REVOLT Music Conference. We were doing different interviews there. I interviewed some American celebrities. That was our start of our relationship. But the relationship is not me working for REVOLT. There was an option for them buying the podcast, me working for them giving me a big check in dollars, and me going to go live in the States. I didn't want that option because that option literally was going to make me employed. Even though the money was good, I don't like being employed. No matter how much the money is nice, I don't like being employed. I want to wake up and decide that I want to let my hair loose like this. I don't want to be told how my hair must look like. I don't want to be told where I must be at what time. I don't want to be told what I must dress like. I want to wake up and decide to do whatever I want to do, and I'll continue being the entrepreneur and independent person that I am. So the other option was a partnership. So they don't acquire the rights of the podcast, but we just partner for us to create content that lives on the REVOLT platform. That's a benefit to me because I'm not privy to that American audience of millions of people. That's actually a global audience. When I create content and I live on that platform, then I'll be exposed to the world now, right? So it's good for me. It's a plus for me. But what's nice is that now they have got a big, just like how we're built, just how YFM is, how Prime Media is, how radio stations are operated. You put together a content creation team, you put together the events team, the marketing team, the sales team are the most important ones because they're the ones that are going to sell all this creativity that has been packaged by all these creators. It's the same thing with that platform. American companies might just decide, actually, you guys only have one African podcast. Would like to explore on that one. We want to spend on that platform. So you've got the sales team selling these podcasts, and whatever revenue that comes was split with the REVOLT people. That's the deal. And remember, they're in America, so they're not selling these podcasts for rands. They're selling it for dollars, advertising dollars, right?
You're getting a fat check.
So you're talking about dollars. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'll make you one example. One company on one of the, is it her name? Karusha, I think is the name. The lady who's got one of the biggest podcasts on REVOLT Network. Okay, let me not say Karusha. Let me just say one podcast. I'm not sure if it was her podcast, but one of the podcasts had received, and they were saying it's not a lot of money. I mean, how did these guys give us this much? But okay, we'll make it work. They're talking about $100,000. They're we're gonna give them these number of months. No, only these number of weeks or these number of episodes and whatever. Okay, but let's start them out with 100. And I think that client had committed that $100,000.
Yeah.
This is me when I was there and privy to those conversations and the amount of money that the American companies pay for advertising in podcasts. So me hearing that, I'm like, yo, times 19, Baba. Times 19.
1.5
yo. Was that 1.5? 1.9. 2 million.
1.5.
I'm thinking, one is in the money, and if I do this thing right.
It's going to Noble Properties Management.
We're going to develop the land, Baba.
Sometime.
Why am I saying that? I'm saying that so as to say, the partnership exists. It's the early stages of the partnership. We'll see the partnership grow next year. You'll see me spending more time in the US. I've been spending time already. Obviously, that's also aligned with me registering Mofaya with the FDA.
Yes.
It's part of that, me spending more time.
That lady from Zimbabwe who's trying to push Mofaya to be on the US market you spoke about.
Yeah, she's my business partner. She's a Harvard graduate. She lives in the US. Originally from Zimbabwe. Lived in South Africa for a couple of years. She's doing really well in the US. And having that documentation to be able to sell our drinks in the States and having a partnership with REVOLT, those are two pluses already for my business and for myself as a brand in terms of my growth and getting into that international arena. But equally so, because you're not employed, you must be responsible for your own papers, working permits, your visas. You must be responsible for your own accommodation, the house that you buy that side in dollars. You must be responsible for yourself because it's a partnership. You're not working for anyone. So it's just taken me a little bit longer than I thought it would because I also have got my own responsibilities in Alaikaya. And also there isn't a time frame that our partnership starts on this date. So I know we've been quiet about it. We signed it, but like in June, and it's been a couple of months we've been quiet about it. But yes, we just started recording a month ago. And you will see me do a lot of work in the US, but also all over the world. I mean, I'll be, there's a lot of people that I look up to that I'd love to have on the podcast in the UK. There's people in Australia, in Asia. There's some people in Bali that I look at. Some people in Nigeria. Some entrepreneurs are doing great things in Rwanda, even in Kenya. You know, there's all these places that I still would like to travel and do all these interviews and create content for my audience to learn from. I'm not only fascinated by entertainment content, but I'm fascinated by education and learning from all these incredible people, and also the fact that mm, I'm going to be putting out more music. I also want to use music as a vehicle because I've seen what it's done for my career and what it's done for Mofaya even in the beginning stages to create relations and get one out there. So that's why I'm putting out more music, putting out an EP now. I've got a single out. I've got another single that I'm putting out. There'll be more music in the marketplace. So I'm basically pouring myself out as much as I can. A book I was supposed to release this year, I'm going to release in 2024. Why didn't I release it this year anymore? I was done with the book. My publisher rejected the manuscript and said, it's not my best work. I must go rewrite so that I take my work to the highest level because the previous works were amazing. We have to top what we've done before. So let me go rewrite. So I've started writing again. The book will be ready. 16 June it comes out, 2024. Right now I'm giving you guys an EP, December. Launching it at Emperor's Palace, the 1st and the 2nd of December, 2023. But 2024, I'm also giving you a new album, more music. Be traveling the world, creating podcasts, growing in business, building houses, podcasting, becoming more of a father. I want more children. I want more children. So I want to make more kids, man. I want to become even more of a father than I've been to all of you guys out there, even though some of you all are not my blood children, but I know you've been over the years. That's why but I want more children of my own. I want to grow my current businesses. I want to become a better human. I want to continue contributing to my country. And I believe in South Africa. I'm one of the optimists that still believe in our country. Will I play a role in politics in the future? I don't know. But right now, no. I'm not interested in becoming a South African president. I'm not interested in getting into politics. I love business. I love the arts. And I want to continuously use my blessings and talents in both of these, business and the arts, to continuously make a meaningful change and impact in society and the world at large.
Sir, all the best with the book and all the best with everything that you are planning to do, everything that you are working on. Like I said earlier on, we learn a lot. You are teaching us a lot. You are not aware. I'm a fan of the 5 a.m. edition. One of my favorite videos is why you? Why? Eh, Ompot, Okaka ice cream. And it reminds me of those kids back in school. They used to say those things. And one of your videos say, guys, no one owes you anything. Go and get it, whatever it takes. Just keep pushing. Don't be mad at anyone. Knows that this world is not your mother's place. Those are your mantras that you live by, that you always share. We learn a lot to say, guys, in the beginning they might not see the vision of Mofaya, but if they hop along the way, let's work with them. No hard feelings, no anything detached. We understand you're a businessman, I'm a businessman. So in saying all that, I'm very inspired. I love you so much, and having you here, it means a lot. Last time I saw you on a big platform was on Friends Like This, and you were on the other side of my screen, and now you're just sitting right next to me. It means a lot. Taking your precious time. You could be with Kolimgawe at Newsroom Africa. Shout out to what Nwad is doing and Mr. Nkosi, the dope thing. You could be in a very big platform or you could be marketing, strategizing on Mofaya, doing something that will bring a check in your table. But you just decided to come and sit with me and share your story. It's your transport, your expenses to come here. It's your time that you could be monetizing it, and it's your story that you decided to come and share. And saying all that, I don't take this lightly. Saying thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Kaleboa. And once again, thank you for the love. Thank you for aligning yourself with Mofaya. And thank you guys to your team, the ones that never get the flowers up behind the cameras. Thank you guys for creating the magic. This is going to open up so many doors for you. You guys will be telling the story. We used to be on campus. We used to have Bosbu Kam. It'll be a story one day in the future to tell future generations. You'll be telling younger guys as well, guys, that no, we were also once students, and you guys will be captains of industry at the time. Now I'll be very gray. And to close it off to all of you guys, where are they? Which camera are they on?
This
Oh, they're there.
Yes.
I just wanted to say, guys, I get the flowers. I smell them every day. You always tell me when you bump into me how much you love me, how much I've inspired you guys with my career. You guys are never shy of coming to show me love, whether you're asking for pictures or you just want to come and just greet me or just tell me how I've impacted your life. It just becomes more and more emotional as one keeps growing up, because I've just become a part of being everyone's big brother in this country. And it's emotional that for me, it's emotional, the love that I get from you guys. It's not just I feel like I'm a celebrity. Like, I don't even look at myself as a celebrity. You guys know when you bump into me all the time. So I want you guys to know that I appreciate it. I appreciate all the work that I've had to do to sort of impact your lives. And I'm proud of what all of you all are doing. And also, if you can shift your mindset and believe that there's a lot of potential in our country, be an optimist. Don't look at our countries going down the drain because of what's happening politically, etc. Sometimes the news and the noise is there to distract you from believing in your own fullest potential and believing in the greatness that this country possesses. Why are they still here? Why do they continuously keep on milking this continent? If there was still nothing here anymore, if this country was going to the dogs, there wouldn't be no Anglo here. There wouldn't be no Glencoe. There wouldn't be no all these I don't want to say just American all these companies, whether European, whether American, they wouldn't be here. They're here because there is a lot of money here. There's a lot of wealth here. This is a great country, awesome weather, dope people. Talent is galore. You guys, if you can start shifting your mindset into a mindset that says, I'm in a country that is full of abundance. I would create abundance for myself and my family. I am entitled to swim in this abundance and the wealth of minerals that this country possesses, the wealth of talent and Ubuntu spirit that this country possesses. Know that you are in the Garden of Eden. Know that you have it all. You just need to tap into this person. Stop looking for solutions out there, because all the solutions are in here. All the solutions are in here. Once you start clicking on that self-love, that's what you guys call it, on that self-love, trust me, you will be proud of yourself if you go down that rabbit hole of self-love. Self-love is the only love that matters. Danko.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. I hope you have learned a lot. I hope you have been inspired to unleash those big potential abilities that are within you. See you in the next week, guys. Please make sure that you subscribe, you share, comment, you like, and by doing so you are helping us to bring more people, more entrepreneurs, more people with interesting, inspiring stories to come and share. Thanks so much, guys. I love you so much, and I appreciate for the love and support.